last time on Just Roll With It, we set sail to the Dwarven Kingdom, and we ended up confronting a large dragon.
The first thing you see are the large span of wings over its sides. Then, as the head begins to part through the clouds, you see scales, you see sharp teeth, and reptilian eyes, as a gargantuan dragon hovers in the air in the way of the ship.
Our fellow crew member Silman has been acting quite strange recently, so we decided to make him a cake.
Why are you covering my eyes?
Surprise!
And that one did not go well.
I take the cake and I fucking throw it in Silman's face.
Who knows what our future entails? I think we're just gonna have to roll with it.
Where we last left off.
Please fill me in.
I will. I'll give you all the juicy deets.
Oh, thank you so much.
Amidst the cruise on the ship, amidst your sail, your journey towards the Dwarven Kingdom, Silman was going through one of his, shall we call it, demonic mood swings. Br'aad being a very
Just girly things.
Br'aad being a very good brother, picks up on these and wants to do something to help out his brother and, you know, maybe pick up his moods a little bit and help him feel more enlightened, more happy. So what better way than to make a surprise party, Br'aad thinks. And let me tell you, things went horribly.
Surprise, Silman!
The
Surprise!
surprise party could not have been any more of a critical failure.
Damn, he's already down, dude. No need to bring him down more.
No, I made a pineapple cake and
We made another pineapple
pineapple.
Some I don't remember which one it was.
There's a pineapple, and the second one was pumping pineapple. I don't fucking know.
Moving on from that, however,
You only remember because of the crippling
nearing
guilt.
nearing the end of your journey, as you're crossing through a heavy movement of clouds, you see a shadow looming in the distance. A massive creature directly in the path of the ship. And before you, all of you, a majority of you for the first time, seeing a dragon in the flesh, in the scales. You saw a dragon with this metallic, shiny, bronze-like scales. As it sat before the party, it only asked for one wish, one single request, to let you pass through his land. And that was to make him laugh. And you thought, who else but Br'aad to make a dragon laugh?
Foolishly.
That also critically failed. But Mountain saving the day with his witty and quick humor of these nuts manages to get enough of a chortle, enough of a chuckle out of this massive dragon to open his skies for you and for the entirety of this ship and crew. And where we left off, the party was getting very, very close to docking in Tagendor.
Were we like 3 days away, 4 days away?
We are a few days of travel away. And for this time of travel for everyone, I just want to say, before we do anything, I want to know exactly what you guys would like to do for these next couple of days. Because at this point, for sake of brevity, nothing else very intriguing is going to happen for these next few off days coming in until we fast forward to the next part. So in this meantime, in this last section of travel, what do you guys want to do in character? What do you guys want to make sure you get done? So that way, sake of brevity, we can get moving forward.
Did want to have a training session with Taxi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prepared the sand pit below deck and stuff like that. But that was going to be tomorrow night, the night after the failed surprise party for Silman.
You made a litter box.
Yeah, I made a litter box.
Entire room.
I'm gonna pee on Mountain.
What?
Mountain, come here so I can
just
pee
nasty.
on you in my litter box.
I'll throw you off the fucking boat. Don't think I won't.
That's just
You will make a
nasty.
new character.
That was, I don't know.
No, I think that's a good way to start.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to start.
All right, so we
Someone's
had.
gonna mope around for a day, and then I think he's gonna pray to Catherine a second day.
Okay, let me divide.
And then
this.
Do you have that
depending on how that
prepared?
go,
Let me divide this really
probably
quick.
gonna talk to Br'aad.
So for Silnan,
right.
it was Silnan. It was moping,
You moping?
praying to
Yep.
Catherine.
Yeah,
Okay.
and potentially talking to Br'aad.
And converse with Br'aad.
Gotta block
okay?
out a good 8 hours for this day's mope.
All right.
Selden's got
Now
the planner out.
moving on. What was it that Br'aad was wanting to do?
I want to maybe. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we bake a couple cakes.
Not just for this day. Sorry, my bad. For these next
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
of
yeah.
days, even.
I'm thinking we bake the second pineapple cake, and we realize it's also really good. And I think Br'aad is gonna try and get Taxi to go bake with him more because he's having a lot of fun with it.
Okay, bake more cakes with Taxi. Okay.
Well, not just cakes, Jared.
A little bit
It's
of
time to
anger.
Okay,
branch
more
it.
baking. More baking with Taxi. Okay.
Wait,
I've got
we're not
you.
just making cakes? What else is...
Today's gonna be crazy. We're gonna do muffins.
Whoa.
Feeling
What
a
kind of
little
muffins?
adventurous in the kitchen, are we, Mr. Chef
Yeah,
Br'aad?
we
Some
are.
blueberries.
Okay, so other than baking with Taxi, what else is Br'aad wanting to maybe accomplish in these next couple of days?
What do you
of
mean?
travel? Anything else? That's it? That's all. That's it? Okay. Okay, so and then for Taxi, you said you want to do training with Mountain.
So, during the day, I guess I'll agree to be baking with Br'aad. And then the night we get the chance, I'll take Mountain, I'll show him where the sandpit is and train.
Okay. Baking with Br'aad and then training with Mountain. All right, is that everything for Taxi?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
And then moving from that.
Other than
so
like
Mountain. Go ahead.
workouts and stuff that the guy told me to do.
Workout. All right. And then Mountain, you want to do training with Taxi. And what else would Mountain like to
Yeah.
do for the next couple of days?
Baking with Br'aad, training with Taxi.
That's so funny.
Literally, that's what I have written down. I have breaking with Br'aad, training with Taxi.
Manicures with Mountain.
But there's also training
Okay,
with.
fuck it. Yeah, we're doing
Life
manicures.
crisis
But
with
no, but no.
mountains on the fingers.
But okay, back into it. Mountain's training with Taxi. Anything else he wants to do for the next couple of days? Anything else maybe on the side, like anything he wants to read, maybe work on, any hobby, skill, training, anything at all?
Manicures with Mountain.
He might ask Chirp some questions,
Converse
like
with Chirp.
about where they're going. Other than that, probably not much.
All right, wonderful. Moving on. From
Surprised I didn't think of doing that
I
before.
want to go to Velrisa. So, is there anything Velrisa would like to do during these next couple of days? Anything in particular? Any sort of training? Any sort of hobbies? Any sort of just anything really that is notable?
Okay, well, she's definitely gonna think a lot about the whole situation with a car and why there wasn't a high priestess there. That's gonna really be heavy on her mind. But in her free time, I think she's just gonna watch over everything and make sure everyone's in shape and good to go and everything.
Oh, I'm in shape, Velrisa. Check out these abs.
Oh god.
Valrissa pushes
fuck
Taxi
outta
off the boat.
All right, so now I'm double checking. I
You're
think
making
we've
a
got
fucking
everything.
character.
Why?
Perfect. Now I'm going to do. This is a fun little new activity we're going to be trying here for autopiloting travels. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to take all these fun little activities and make it little charts. So give me 1 second.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm looking for a V word for something with Velrisa.
Is this sea shanties?
For
No,
Velrisa.
four
Not
with
do that.
Velrisa.
Voting with Valrissa.
Don't forget. Vaping with Velrisa.
Velrisa.
Vaporizing with Velrisa.
Vaporizing Velrisa.
She's good at that one.
No, that
does
that
have
was the
experience.
beholder's job. Don't worry about it.
I know. That's why I said it.
That was good.
So starting
So
off
broad.
with the morning of day
Muffins?
one. We're
So you
going
call
to
yourself
start
a
with-
baker?
We're gonna start with baking with Br'aad. Br'aad and Taxi, you are both going
My
to
favorite
be
cooking show.
early morning. Not much to do around the ship on day one. You guys are going to be baking together. So I want both of you to go ahead for me. I'm gonna say for the way that you guys would probably cook, knowing each other, I'm gonna have you both make charisma checks.
Can
I
I
just
be
thought
like,
of taxidermy with taxi.
can I join them and be like,
Taxidermy with tax.
Oh no!
What was that? What was
can I
that?
join them and be like a judge to their creations?
Sure. Do you want to help them as in like you're gonna be baking with them, or you're
I
gonna just
wanna-
like
I
judge
want
what
to
they make?
judge their creations.
Okay.
So it has
So
to.
if you're
it
doing
has
that,
to
I
like
want
eating
you.
too.
I want you to make a an insight check for me.
I'm sorry. Can I give you guys a mental image I just had? I don't know where the fuck this came from. I picture Taxi in the woods, and he sees like a bear, and it roars, and he says, "Hey, stuff it," and then it just cuts to the bear stuffed next to him.
Okay, so
From
for
taxidermy with Taxi,
Taxi and Br'aad, charisma checks. What were those results?
just flat out charisma.
Just a flat charisma check.
Natural
Charisma roll
one.
and
Oh,
that is.
I got a 23.
I got a 2 total.
Okay, now for Taxi, I'm
That's
gonna
funny.
have you make a wisdom check
Welcome back to Cooking with Br'aad. Oh.
because Taxi would most likely cook with wisdom.
Oh. 14 with wisdom.
Okay, so a 14, and then but for your charisma you got that, and then for Br'aad, I'm gonna have you make an intelligence check for me.
Huh. Oh yes, a 5.
A 5 in total.
Yes.
Okay, so how it starts. Br'aad starts out hyping up Taxi a lot for this baking. So if you guys would
got
like
this.
to do that, you can. But
Oh, I know, I'm pretty-
We gotta play it out.
yeah, but I'm gonna give the whole scene really quick.
Okay,
But for
yeah,
day
yeah.
one, it's probably gonna start. A lot of it is gonna be Br'aad pep talking Taxi, getting Taxi into it with that charisma check. Most definitely, Taxi is going to have a lot more of the knowledge of what you're supposed to put in what you're cooking, and like how it'll probably taste. Where Br'aad right now is currently a lot more with the heart. He just really wants to make something, but he doesn't know what's good. He's just really passionate.
I dropped
about
everything
it.
up from like the maximum arm height that I can. I'm just like fucking flinging spices in for some reason.
So go ahead, you guys can play that out
Oh,
now
yeah,
as
yeah.
much as you'd like. You guys are going to be in the bar/kitchen area of the ship.
What did
where
you-
you
okay,
have-
so what did you-
You got the whisk, Taxi?
What am I whisking? What did you want to make today?
You want to fold?
All right, I'm
fold,
going.
Not stir.
I'm
Fold,
going.
Not stir. Are you folding?
Okay. Did you get the did you get the sugar?
Slow down
The sugar
a
on the
little.
top shelf.
I'm gonna inject
sugar on the top shelf.
Sugar. The
For
sugar
the natural one occurs here. As Taxi is whisking, he whisks a little too hard. The bowl comes out of his grasp, and it gets the flour and the mix everywhere, all over the table and all over Taxi.
Br'aad,
Quick, let's scoop
we
it
can't
back
give up. We have to start over.
We can't give up.
No.
Here.
Don't put it, but don't scoop
I'm
it up and don't
scooping
put
it
it in the bowl.
back
No. I'll clean it up later. We have to get the dough. Get the dough, the wheat flour, the yeast.
Why do
get
we
the
need
yeast.
the dough? We're
get
making
the yeast and put
is
it in the bowl.
muffins dough? I thought it was like batter.
Was that what I was whispering?
What are you guys making? First of all?
That's what I wanted to know.
We were making. I think we were making muffins.
Okay, so for muffins, it would have been like a batter, right?
I grabbed the dough.
I dropped the batter on the floor.
Why did you drop the batter on the floor?
It slipped.
Here's the dough. I don't know what it is for, where it came from, but it looks.
I thought we needed the batter.
Put this in.
Okay. I put it into the new bowl. I grab a new bowl and I put the new dough into the bowl.
It looks a little
Eggs.
thick. I just pour water
Eggs. No,
in.
wait.
Eggs? Eggs?
Goat milk.
I cast polymorph and turn him into a goat.
Are you going to milk me?
And that comes out as a.
You see Br'aad reach down and we cut away.
Br'aad, make a sleight of hand check and an animal handling check.
Oh, this is really.
Oh no.
This is really weird.
He's really milking Taxi.
You're afraid of cows.
You're a goat.
Let's go.
I thought you said you turned me into a cow.
What was the first check?
It would have been sleight of hand.
Man.
18.
Okay, now I would like an animal handling check.
If you fail this, I get to kick you in the face.
Okay, makes sense.
Man.
14.
14. Okay, so you don't really know how to necessarily milk something, but you're gentle enough with your nimble, picky-pockety hands that you are able to. You're able to get a decent amount of milk out of the goat. Taxi, it feels extremely uncomfortable. This is probably one of the most embarrassing points of Taxi's life, and a lot of different things are probably going through his head right now. But after the milking, after the preparation, the muffins surprisingly still come out quite well.
When do you turn me out of the goat?
As soon as I'm done milking you.
And after that, you guys continue throughout the next couple of days, still baking other things, other creations, other random items.
I look at Br'aad.
After that first experience. You look at Br'aad? Okay, go ahead.
I feel violated in this kitchen.
I feel like these muffins are going to be delicious.
And I want to try a muffin. How was the muffin?
They're actually not that bad. Velrisa is there, and she also taste tests them. What'd you say you rolled?
I got a 25.
To 25?
Yep.
Okay. Taste testing the muffins, you can tell they are a little bit more on the moist side, possibly a slight undercooking, but they're actually not that bad. You wouldn't be able to tell if they were made using Taxi's milk, but
did she see that whole thing happen?
Probably.
Doesn't matter. She still chose
and you
to
still
take a
decided
bite.
to eat it.
Here on on
but they're actually
Br'aad,
surprisingly
the best of
not
what
that
we've
bad.
Got.
And moving on through the rest of the days, Velrisa will also accompany Taxi and Br'aad in the kitchen to also taste test more of their creations. Because of this,
how many animals do you turn me into to get their ingredients?
Probably chicken definitely happens. I turn you into a chicken and then I keep
it's fucked because Taxi can turn himself into animals. Like, why doesn't he just do it? You're just turning him into the animals unwillingly.
Eggs. Chicken.
We need eggs stat.
I'm just wondering, like, a reverse situation where Taxi turns into a goat and he's like, milk me, Br'aad.
Shut the fuck up, you Rule 34, man.
We've made this. I think it's still funny. I think it's still funny.
It's so funny.
For
it's so bad.
For the next 24 hours after we land in the capital city, these effects will take place. So for Br'aad, for the next 24 hours, Br'aad, you have a +1 to charisma.
Whoa.
Because of your time showing your passion and love for cooking and spending time with your friends, you are given a +1 to your charisma temporarily for the next 24 hours.
Okay.
On top of that, you are also actually given a +2 to your intelligence.
Damn, baking with Br'aad got some good ratings, dude.
For you did more reading in that time, learning all those recipes than you probably have in a couple of years.
It was worth it to milk me.
Imagine substituting actual knowledge with cookie recipes.
And for that, Velrisa, you will get a +3 to your insight, and I will go over. We'll get a bit more into that later. But go ahead and do
this.
That.
Is cool.
But moving on from the baking that happens.
Can I have advantage on wisdom saving throws because I was milked?
No. If anything, you just have PTSD. Taxi, right. You keep up your daily regimen for the next 3 days, keeping up the training you were told to and all the workouts. And because of that, you get a +2 to your strength and a +1 to your dexterity the next 24 hours after landing. So just add a +2 and a +1 to your modifiers. Those are temporary.
For 24 hours, and I feel like we're gonna need them somehow.
After we land. On top of that, we're gonna move over to.
Can Selena just get depression?
So for the next 24 hours. Velrisa, you do a lot of inflecting, a lot of self-thinking on the situation, on the situation with the car, the meeting, everything that happened between not only you, but also with Taxi and Br'aad being there as well. You also inflect a lot on the day of that girl's death. A lot of self-actions, a lot of self-worth, just a lot of self-inflicting and a little bit of self-hatred inside. But because of that, and on top of you watching over everything and keeping an eye on everyone for the next couple of days, you keep an eye on the ship, making sure that everything is tied properly, everything is secured and fastened. You keep an eye on all the party members, making sure everyone's doing all right. And because of that, you will get a +2 to your wisdom, and a +2 to your wisdom, and a +1 to your intelligence as well. On top of that, on top of what you got earlier. So you're gonna be very high on fucking wisdom. Velrisa is stacked on wisdom right now.
She's high on wisdom. Oh fuck. She's on another plane of wisdom.
We're going to move on to Mountain. Before your training with Taxi.
Yeah.
Before your training with Taxi, you take a chance to converse with Twerp. I mean, not Twerp, Chirp. I said Twerp. Fucking Twerp. Sorry, I read something that started with a T as I said it, and I just thought of Twerp. Anyway. You converse with Chirp for a few minutes. What would you like to talk about? You approach him. When you approach him, he is probably going to be honestly somewhere nearby the bar area. Not necessarily watching Taxi and Br'aad cook, but more so just observing the ingredients and all the stuff around. Kind of just like looking at all the action going on as okay. more of an observant, not like being interested. But you approach
him. I'll just approach him and just say, "Hey, Chirp, what are you doing?"
Hi. What was that?
What are you doing?
Oh, I am just taking notice.
Taking notice?
Yes, I'm seeing what everyone is doing. It is different.
Oh, well, was wondering if I could talk to you more privately.
Of course.
All right, and I'll lead him.
He'll follow.
Yeah, no problem. Back to the quarters.
Just big old robotic legs stomping on the wooden planks as he takes you back to the quarters, or you take him back to the quarters, I should say. He just stands there idly and looking at you, waiting for your questions.
So this place that we're going, could you tell me about it? Anything about it that would be noteworthy?
Yes, we are heading to Togindor. It is the capital city of Br'aad, which is the Dwarven Kingdom here on the northern side of Ingress. Togindor, especially, the city we are going into, has a very heavy population of people like me. And one of his fingers comes up and he points towards him.
Oh.
Non-organics.
So there's more of you.
Yes. You see, the dwarves used to use us for soldiers. We were originally created to be the army that kept them in their presence where they are, fighting for their territory. After the war, though, we are now simply citizens. Or kind of.
And what of the king?
The king. King Ragrim is a very rule-heavy king. But he is not a bad one.
Okay.
I am not allowed to say bad things about the royal king. But what I will say is that he doesn't seem to be entirely sane.
Well, that's comforting. It's good to know.
But the city is doing rather well, even with the Queen's current absence. From what I have heard and what I have seen from the scouting, the economy is thriving.
Okay. Do you have any idea where the Queen is?
Yes, the Queen had to move, you see. There is a conflict happening back near a dwarven continent where some Duragar have been breaching the land. They needed our policy's help and some of our armies. So there was a royal decree to meet with some of the other dwarven leaders, and she had to take place of the king, as the king is currently ill.
Okay. The king is ill, you say?
He was, yes, but I've heard he's getting better.
Right. All right. Always a pleasure.
Yes.
Kind of.
If you need anything, I am very good at answering questions.
I will walk away from Chirp.
He will just stand there as you walk away. Okay. Moving on from that situation, we will move to Taxi and Mountain.
The good
During
stuff.
the evening of the first day, Taxi, you approach Mountain. This is before you guys come to the sandpit, obviously. This is you taking him down there. So at this time, it'd be 6 p.m., 7-ish p.m. Where do you think you'd be currently, Mountain, on the ship? All the work's been done. Things have been cleaned. Things have been restocked and checked. Everyone, including the captain, is just relaxing for the evening now.
Probably been spending a lot of time in the quarters.
Okay. So
Doing
Taxi
whatever.
would probably find Mountain in the
Yeah, he'd
quarters,
find me
probably
there.
with Jack, just maybe playing fetch or just sitting around, looking over his equipment, maybe cleaning off boots, something of the sort.
Is there a door? I don't know. Yeah, I'll walk in.
Yeah, there's a door.
Okay.
Well, sure. Just walk right in.
The door opens out.
Was that? I thought that was Taxi. I was like, is he all right? Is Taxi all right?
Hey, it's I know and we've been busy since the surprise party, but no, I did end up finding a little area where you could maybe help me train. We could,
Oh,
that thing. Yeah, this is
we can
if you
do
wanted to still do that by chance.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you show me the way?
Oh, it's just the lower deck. If you want to go now, later, I don't want to bother you if you're busy or anything.
No, we can go. We can go now.
Okay,
But if I'm gonna train you, you need to listen to me.
great. Of course, yeah. I'll
right.
start walking
Lead the way.
down to where I made the little sand pit.
Okay. For this training, what exactly are we going to be doing? What are you guys wanting to do? Just simple 1v1 combat.
I was thinking, I put my once we get down there, I'll put my the staff that he got for me on a wall, and just I was thinking, we could spar without weapons. Obviously, I don't want to die. If that's okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Where did
We
you
can
go,
do that.
Mountain?
no
He's
signal.
loading.
Mountain disappeared. Mountain needs new camera.
He's
It'll
loading
turn
in.
off after 30 minutes.
He just like
Yeah, we can
joins
do
in.
that. Just put your weapons to the side.
Yeah, so it'd be like a spar.
Okay, so
We'll
you guys
spar
are going to be
first.
going for a hand-to-hand combat. Okay, so this is going to be a bout of strength. Not only strength, but also your fortitude as a fighter. As a 1v1, especially hand-to-hand combat match, it's not necessarily about how strong your blows are, but also how many you can take yourself. So because of this, before we start, I want both of you to make Constitution and Strength checks for me.
All right, dear, 1 second.
Okay.
Actually, for you, it'd be a Dexterity check. For Taxi, as you are dexterous with your hand-to-hand.
Damn, I rolled low.
Uh-oh. It is okay. It is just for bonus effects. It
Alright,
will
you want
not
me to
kill you.
put it in
You
the
can just say
chat?
it out loud.
Okay. My strength check was 11,
11. Okay.
and my constitution was 7.
7. Okay.
I make a
11 and
dexterity and what?
And a Constitution.
Okay, so my dexterity was. It's just the roll plus the modifier, right?
Plus your Dexterity modifier. Yeah, just straight Dexterity
Then 12
modifier.
total, and then my
These are just for bonus effects afterwards. so these don't matter
Constitution
that
was
much.
6.
6. Okay, so both of you actually rolled pretty damn evenly. So I'm going to have both of you now go ahead and just roll initiative, and we are going to play this out as single turn, one action, hand-to-hand combat.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it'll go back and forth depending on starting first, obviously, with whoever has the higher initiative roll.
Mine was a 5.
So it's probably going to be Tex.
Yeah. But I'd probably let Taxi throw the first blow anyway.
Give me.
And can we have like open dialogue while we're doing it? Does
Yeah.
it need to be? Okay.
Yeah. Just the one action thing is more like, you'd be like, I go for a grapple, or like if you want to do it something else other than just like a punch. You're just given that single action to do whatever you want to do as a retaliation to whatever your opponent does. So it could even be like if they punch and miss, you can be like, you can grab their arm and like go for,
Yeah.
an arm bar or some sort of grapple. So it'll start out with Taxi. We will move to the combat. You both stand on your opposing sides of the small sand circle that Taxi has made. Getting into your combative stances, you face off against each other. The first move will go to Taxi. Taxi.
All right. How do you want to do this?
Just strike me.
Okay. And you'll tell me like how my form is, or like
Just
if I should.
strike me.
All right. Pya! I'll go in and I'll go in for like a little punch.
All right, roll to hit.
11. Does that hit you?
Miss. No, if I miss, I'm gonna maybe like sidestep that
Okay.
if I can.
Yeah. So Taxi goes for a right, and as he punches forward, Mountain, you very easily just step to using your left foot. You step to Taxi's left side and just completely dodge the fist coming straight towards your face.
I'll go. Do I just one? Is it just one attack per?
Well, Mountain, do you want to attack him back, or are you just waiting for him to hit?
Because it's my turn. I have more actions I can do.
I'm just gonna stand there in complete silence and wait.
Okay. So Taxi.
All right. I missed that one on purpose. Just kind of getting a few. But this time I'll spend a key point and do a flurry of blows.
Okay.
16 plus 8 for the first one.
It's a definite hit.
So that's and then hold on, the second one. 17 plus 8.
Okay, so both connect. Go ahead and roll the damage. Tell me the damage separately as well.
Okay.
Like the first strike does this much damage, second strike does that much damage.
The first strike does 9 damage.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The second strike does 8 damage.
Okay. I guess I'm like taken aback by him actually connecting.
Taxi, as you sidestep Taxi, you take that arm and with very impressive speed that Mountain wasn't seeing coming, your right elbow hits straight into his face, temporarily sidestepping him. He gets off put, his stance gets moved, and then you use that opportunity to go for a lower left underneath his left shoulder, probably more about towards the left pec. Striking true to that one as well. Both of those blows, they got a lot of punch behind him. Mountain, you can really feel it. You're honestly impressed.
Well, no, that wasn't bad. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna punch him. Okay. It's gonna be an 18 plus 8.
Yes.
That's a hit.
All right, I'm gonna go for a punch straight in the solar plexus.
What
try
the
and knock
fuck
the
is
wind
the
out of him a little
solar
bit.
plexus? Sorry.
It's right.
Oh,
It's that
okay.
area right there. Mm-hmm. Knock the wind out of him.
How much damage does your unarmed strikes do?
Just 6.
Just 6? Okay. So Mountain, you after you get knocked out of your combat stance, you take the blow to your left side, feeling the pain and using actually the force of that, you plant your right foot and turn in the sand, using the force to actually push your right hook out towards right about about mid chest and hitting that spot near the lungs and knocking the breath out of Taxi. Taxi, makes you stumble for a second and hunch over as you feel the air escape you, but you stay on your feet.
I get back up. Yeah. That's it. All right.
When you're punching, you're not using enough force. You're not punching with enough confidence.
I got it. And then I go to strike him in the face.
Okay.
15 plus 8.
That is
8 damage.
8 damage. So Taxi, you get up from the hunch and then you rush forward, going straight down the center. Going for a fake left, and as Mountain moves his guard towards that left strike, you come in with a quick right and chop towards the lower left neck of Mountain.
I'm going to look a little angrier after getting the shit knocked out of me, because this is like I think this is one of the first times Mountain's like punched back, and I have felt the force of a dwarf man. And I'm going to spend another key point to do flurry of blows.
Okay.
The first one is 14. Is that it?
That would probably. I think I miss his Mountain. What's Mountain's AC?
16.
So
16, so yeah, it
next
misses.
one, natural one.
Ooh. Oh, so as the chop hits Mountain, and then you come in for those 2 strikes, you rush in, feeling trying to carry that pressure and keep, because you've learned, especially from your training with your most recent mentor, you learned from him that keeping pressure on in a battle is very important. But pushing with those strikes, you go. As you go with the left hook, however, Mountain takes his hand up and using his palm, he deflects that fist. And as you turn around, going for a backwards kick, using just the heel of your left foot, Mountain, you catch it. Using actually both arms, one towards the ankle, the other one wrapping around the upper knee. And then you twist Taxi in midair, sending him flying in a spiral and landing back first in the sand.
Am I prone?
Control your
You
anger.
are prone. And it's in Mountain, you have an action now. Taxi's on the ground on his back, prone.
I'm gonna walk over to the staff, his staff. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna grab it. Okay. I'm gonna just drop it in front of him.
You're gonna do what with my staff?
Just drop it in front of you.
Oh, you want me to?
I thought you were gonna start fucking beating him with
That's
it.
what you're
Jesus.
using your-
I'm like, holy shit. Okay, yeah, he comes up and he drops
Give
it to
him the
you.
staff.
Okay, Taxi, it's your turn. Your face first on the ground, mouth full of sand. And you hear something drop to your side.
All right.
Focus.
I love that Mountain just said control your anger.
Was that canon?
I hope so. I sure hope so.
All right. I will look over at the staff and kind of like rest my hand on it to like get myself up, and on my way up, I'll pick it up and I'll look at him and I'll say, "You're angry all the time, so I don't need
Yeah,
that."
and I control it. I use it.
When?
To hurt people.
You are always, I don't understand. What? You're always angry. You never control it.
I control it by using it to hurt people. It works. Use it in the right way. Don't use your anger to throw you off.
All right.
You gotta channel it.
I'm going to.
This is so funny to me. I'm sorry.
I'm still going to do an unarmed strike, but I will use the staff as leverage to do a kick.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Oh, 19. So close to a natural 20.
Well, that hits.
That is 9 damage. And then my last key point. I will try Flurry of Blows one more time.
Okay.
That hits. 16 plus 8. With that hit, I want to impose the Dexterity saving throw.
Okay, so Mountain, make a dex save.
19.
All right, you pass.
Does not. Okay.
And then 13 plus 8, so that hits.
Okay.
That one is 9 damage.
Taxi, you plant the staff into the ground, using it to spin and turn on your heel to go for a kick. Mountain, you bring your guard up in an X position, hitting the kick right against your forearm to take most of the blow. It sends you about a foot or two back, though sliding in the sand. And Taxi, you use that speed to now land on that foot and then come in for 2 quick strikes onto Mountain, and that is where Mountain, it comes back to your turn.
Okay. I am going to...
I'll put my hand up and the little come here. Bring it on motion.
He's a lot taller than I am.
Yes, he is.
But he's not...
He's also very,
Okay, I
very
kinda wanna-
live.
I kind of want to slip behind him if I can and hit him in the back.
Okay. Go for an unarmed strike. See if you hit.
18.
18 hits, right?
Yes.
So, Mountain, you rush forward towards Taxi, and Taxi, as you immediately brace, going to parry some sort of strike from the front. Mountain, you use your speed, your running force, and you slide into the sand with your right boot to get around to the backside of Taxi, and with both hands put together in a club motion, you strike the lower back.
And I only get the 1 attack per action rather than my normal 2?
Yes.
Because he's been doing like mad attack.
Because you just this fucking flurry of blows.
I'll notice that now.
You can do stuff like you have how you have like your superiority dice. You can use those if you have the ability to do so.
Those are all really for like weapons and shit.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, you can use any ability like that though if you have something that works in an unarmed combat situation. But yeah, so Taxi, you fall forward a bit, really feeling that sting to your lower back, almost sending you down onto one knee, but you catch yourself with the staff. And you turn around to reface Mountain. What do you do?
I'll look at him and just kind of like start circling around. So what do you think?
I think you're, strong, but you need to focus. You need to breathe more when you fight.
I think I'm breathing quite already.
Yes, but when you throw a punch, breathe. When you're defending, breathe. Be in the moment.
Well, I'm confused. Don't you overthink a lot during a fight? Aren't you isn't this always supposed to be a one step ahead kind of thing? I mean, and I like grab my kidney, he kind of just slid under my legs.
No, I think ahead, but I'm not too far ahead of myself. You watch where your opponent is going, but you know where you are.
This is so vague. Okay.
What is Mountain's max HP?
102?
102? Okay.
Why? What, are you gonna fucking hit me with some life-ending shit?
No, I'm not.
No.
I'll walk.
What the fuck?
I'll rush up and do an unarmed strike.
Okay.
15 plus 8 with 6 damage.
And then Mountain.
Okay, I wanna like try and kick his leg, but in a way that's not gonna break his leg.
Are you going for like a sweep, like a sweeping?
Yeah,
motion? Okay.
Probably like a sweep to take him off balance.
Okay, go ahead and make another unarmed strike for me.
Okay. Ooh, no. 12.
12 does not hit. As you go for the sweep, Taxi very easily just jumps over your leg as you sweep it through the sand. Taxi, your turn.
6 damage again. 12 plus 8 to hit.
Good. At this point, as that blow hits, Taxi, you come up and once more you deliver a blow towards the midsection of Mountain. This one taking you to about half of your max HP. You begin to feel winded. And at this point, Mountain would probably be ready to call the fight.
If he wants to.
But does he?
Yeah, I'm saying Mountain can't. But this is usually the point where a duel would stop, is when somebody hits their half, because at that point you are pretty damn injured, and you're risking further injury by continuing. So you may continue if you'd like.
I got to beat up Mountain.
What is Taxi's max HP as well?
58.
That's what I thought. Okay, that was around there.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna hit him one more time at least.
Okay, so go ahead and roll to hit.
I'll see he's getting a little bit winded. Come on! Come on!
It's a 27 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
That hits.
With your best
That
shot,
hits.
come on!
So Taxi, you hit right into the midsection, and Mountain's left arm grabs against your wrist, and his head falls for a second, and you begin to see a bit of blood drip down onto your forearm, coming off of Mountain's mouth. And as he looks up and the blood drips from his lip, he uses his right arm and delivers a blow straight to your jaw, knocking you entirely off balance and sending you quite a few steps backwards. And that does 6 damage.
Yeah, that's good. I'll walk over and help him up.
You go over and help him up?
I was already standing.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll go over and help him up.
Knock
You
down.
lost.
No,
I'll help him up. Truthfully, this has just been more of a large, massive stress reliever. But I am grateful that you're willing to help. And if you want to continue at any point, I mean, I'm always down to spar. You are very strong, and you can take a lot of hits, and it helps a lot. Also, I mean, not to be completely uncalled for or anything, but I have been wanting to punch you for a very long time like this. If you don't mind.
No, it's fun. Honestly, I don't mind beating on you either, so that's all right.
We have quite the strange relationship then.
I mean, it's something.
Are you, do you need any kind of healing? I cast No.
No. Don't worry about it.
Alright.
Everything's good.
I mean, you're honestly hit point difference. You guys actually aren't that far off from injury. Because 2 more strikes from Mountain and Taxi, you would be at the same exact level he is injury wise. So he's not looking like on death's door or anything like that. He's just pretty winded. He just hit his mid, and you were 2 strikes of Mountains away from hitting your half.
I would sit down at a nearby wall and catch my breath and just kind of look at Mountain, thinking of what to say.
No, you fight well. You do.
Maybe here when it's not everything goes. It's a little bit more predictable in a ring. When it's 2 consenting. But whenever we're
I mean, yeah, but
whenever we were in that forest, and I mean, even just above deck, I always feel like the unthinkable or unexpected is gonna happen, and I'm gonna get somebody killed or die myself. So really, I've just been trying to get stronger so that doesn't ever happen.
I mean, yes, death is possible, but it's not anything to fear constantly. If it comes, it comes. We do our best to stop it. Why does it seem like
I'm not
why does that weigh on you so much?
I'm not scared of death, Mountain. I know how much it hurts.
Oh yeah, that's kind of how dying works.
But I mean, when
Pretty sure only for a little while.
No, not you. I mean, it only lasts probably a few seconds when it's you that's dying, but everyone else has to suffer. I mean, you've lived plenty longer than me. Then maybe you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I understand.
Mountain, actually, I mean, inflecting back on your life, especially a lot of your life traveling and being a wandering sort of soul. You've had quite a few friends and companions that you've lost to many different ailments across the road. Even pets you've lost due to old age because you just outlive a lot of other creatures and things that you stop and see. So it would be something Mountain would understand, I'd think. That's more up to you.
I do understand what you mean. I mean, I've seen my share of death. I know how it can impact your life. I'm sure you know the whole deal with the locket that I wear around my neck. So, it was my wife's.
I don't recall. And if you said something before. I remember that we lost it sewer. and you needed it, but I don't know why it's like that special other than it being belonging to her. I mean,
well, yeah, she died. She was killed.
I'm sorry. How did how?
It's a long story. We were both convicted of something we didn't do. She was put to death. We were both put to death, except I didn't get killed.
Like someone framed you for something?
Maybe. I don't know. There was a fire. They said it was arson. It wasn't. At least, not by our hand. Hell, I don't see why we would burn down our own tavern. It just doesn't make sense, but...
Oh, that's like a heavy... How long ago was that?
Long time, Taxi. It's almost a life ago.
Oh, shit.
No, it's okay.
I said before... God, this sucks. Okay, I'm not a very open person. I'm sure.
And I am.
Wow, we are strangely similar. This is weird. Okay. I said before, when I asked you to help me out, that a death has hurt. It has caused a lot of my problems. I lost when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I lost my mother, and I didn't really have anywhere to go, and so I just kind of left. And then I met Oriana, and I caused another problem through my own weaknesses. I also didn't lose her to death, but I sort of pushed her away, and so I've been alone for...
How do you mean, another problem?
Well, when my mother died, I had to run away from the clan I was at, I was born into, and then I lived alone, very much alone, isolated in that forest. And when you live off of a forest as a young kid, you start to develop, I guess, animalistic habits, a little inhumane. When I met Oriana, it was years afterwards. And we traveled together, and I think we loved each other. But those habits, I guess you would see. Of course I did. I mean, I don't know. When you're young, you just don't. You think you know, and then you don't. It was anger, and we got into an argument, and I hurt her physically, and she left the next morning.
Oh.
So. Yeah, I've been struggling. That's what I've been struggling with a lot since before I met you guys. And yeah.
So you've been dealing with all that every time we talk to her? Like that's a thing?
Oh yeah.
I didn't see any problem. I thought we were just having a good time. I didn't.
No.
I didn't
imagine.
realize.
Yeah. Imagine, you and your girlfriend are split for a few years and you go off to find her, and the reason why you split is because you damaged her body, and then you find her and she's almost dead in an alleyway. And then, you know, I'm looking at, I just remember so clearly looking at Oriana and just thinking about I was going to lose another person and there was nothing I could do, and that's why I've been in so much mental turmoil since, and that's why I asked you to help me, and that's why I asked that master in the city to help me, and yeah.
So you were looking for Oriana because you were afraid you'd lose her too, like your mother.
I went to look for her. No, I don't mountain. I love that girl, and I wanted to find her because I wanted to apologize and do right and make up. And oh my god, so much has happened since then.
Yeah, it's been a ride. It's been something else. You can't let that death define you, though. You can't let the fear of losing her define you either.
Well, I was curious on that, on what you're saying. Is the loss of your wife the reason why you're harboring so much hate around and anger?
Maybe. I don't know. It's...
Because, to be frank, the mountain I'm speaking with right now is a total stranger.
Yeah, I didn't always hate everything. And I wasn't always so drunk. But, you know, when you've lost everyone, it's hard to accept the idea that you can have anyone.
Yeah, you start to feel like maybe you aren't deserving for a family or a love or friends.
Maybe I need to take my own advice.
It is good advice.
I don't have that often. When I found you, all of you, running after Oriana, I stuck with you because I saw that in you. I saw that fear of you losing her. I didn't know that you had any connection to her. I just saw it in you, and it's the same thing I saw in myself. And that's why I'm here.
Ooh, that makes a lot of sense. I'm very, very sorry. But we seem to grow every day, and even though our friends around here, especially Silnan at the moment, are extremely, if not just as much, dysfunctional and having some sort of problems. I do think we are helping each other. And I honestly, at the moment, I know Oriana is in good hands, and even if I never saw her again, these people, this group, and you know, it's the first time I felt like this is where I want to be, no matter what happens. Because there's a lot of bad and scary stuff that has happened since I've met you, and I haven't left yet. So I think this is good.
I'd say it's good too. Just definitely wouldn't have been on the way to some kingdom that some robot or whatever the fuck Chirp is. What is that guy? Whatever. I wouldn't have been on the way to do this if not for you guys. Wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, and
I still kind of don't
like
care.
I said, I mean, if you end up not caring, we'll kick some fucking ass.
Yeah, let's kick some ass.
But no, try not to,
kicking ass.
Kill innocent people or anything. To take it from me, don't do that. In this kingdom, that'll put us on the bad list real quick. You know.
I spoke to Chirp. I think we might end up on the bad list regardless.
Isn't it?
Chirp shared with me that the king may be not the best guy. He didn't say it directly, but it was kind of implied.
The king? Oh, I thought
weird.
You were the king.
Am I? No, I'm not the king. I think they want me to be. I'm not even fully sure what's going on. I was drunk when they told me. But, I mean, I figure it'll even out if I'm drunk while I'm there.
It's gonna be different. But, I mean, more importantly, as long as you know, I got your back when we're in this kingdom. If anything goes south, We'll go north or something. I don't know. I'll be there.
It's good to know. Thank you.
Thanks again. And it's nice to know there's another person who is harboring that same kind of trauma and working through it every day.
Yeah, I mean, we're all fucked up. Just some of us are similarly fucked up, and I guess it helps to stick with those people. All right.
We drink.
Not that it went very well last time, but would you like to have a drink?
I cannot even begin to decline. Let us, I want to indulge in this endless flask of yours.
Well, no, that doesn't work. That's just for me. I can't.
Oh, okay.
You can't drink
We're
it.
not there yet. Baby steps, I suppose.
No. I mean, it only works for me. Here, try it.
Okay, I'm gonna try and drink out of the flask that supposedly only works for him.
What, are you not gonna even waterfall, bro? Holy shit, you guys are close.
You're gonna waterfall,
Damn,
bro?
they bonded.
Grody, you're gonna just
Ew,
fucking stick
damn,
your
you've really
He
bonded.
wrapping his whole mouth around that shit.
Yes, no, it only works for mountain.
Okay, well,
In fact, when you tip it back, even trying to purse your lips to it, not even a drop comes out. Nothing comes. It feels and seems empty.
what else do you have in mind?
See? Liquor.
All right, I'm in.
And then we go up to the bar and we drink
with
liquor.
Mountain and Taxi go up, beaten and bloodied, to the bar together to have a final drink before their night's rest, and that will put a close to that. Silnan.
Oh boy.
Silnan spends his days moping around, sort of avoiding contact, especially even eye contact with some people.
No, I'm pretty sure they avoid eye contact too.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, most of the time,
Oh, yeah.
whenever anybody passes Silnan down one of the halls of one of the decks, Silnan usually already has his hood up and immediately averting his eyes. He seems to be very much keeping to himself these past couple of days. Silnan, on the night of the second day, you sit down in bed and begin to pray to Catherine. What is it that you say exactly?
Oh god, I never had to know how to get into a conversation with her. I should have done this more before, so I had this more pat down. Fuck. Hey, Kath. You there?
What is it, Silnan?
I've done a lot of thinking the last few days about what you were saying.
As
Last
you're talking, and you keep your eyes closed, in front of you, beginning to materialize, almost like the way your eyes adjust to the darkness. You begin to see the shapes and colors around you very slowly, but coming together in front of you is the fountain, the forest, and Catherine. As your eyes are shut, you see it all. You look around and you can see the whole area around, and it still looks the same way it did before.
And I think you're right. I think I need to talk to somebody about it. They threw me a surprise party, Catherine, and I punched Mountain in the face, for God's sake, at a surprise party for me.
You really hurt your brother's feelings.
Yeah, no, I know, and that feels awful. That's the last thing I wanted to do. My entire life, I always had to look out for Br'aad. I never wanted him to have to worry about what was going on with me. I wanted him to be worry-free. I wanted him to do whatever he wanted, right? I always just kind of approached it with the attitude, hey, I should deal with it myself. Why does anybody else need to worry about my issues or my problems? Because there was nobody ever there that had to.
What you're going through is hard for me to assist with. This power inside you, as I said, is growing. And, well, the more I watch it, the more scared I am that there will be no way to stop it. But I've noticed something. And she starts waving her hands across the water in the fountain once more, and it shows imagery. It shows this very faint, fuzzy image of what looks like the ship from some sort of back side view, you can see this ship moving through the clouds, but it's very spotty and just dark images and shapes. Almost like dark claymation. It's very, very basic and shanty, but you can see the ship moving through the clouds, and then you occasionally see what seems like a pulse. Just this line comes flying towards the ship, and then it hits about halfway through the ship and fires back in the same direction.
What is
this wave? It's arcanic, it's magic, it's mana, but I don't know of what kind. But it searches the ship, and it only finds two things. It only picks up on two auras every time it scans the ship. That's yours and Velrisa's.
Velrisa's.
I don't know what this means. I don't know what it could mean. But I would exercise caution. It seems as though something is searching for you.
Great. Didn't have enough problems. Kath, I'm scared. I'm scared of what's gonna happen. Now you're telling me this thing's searching for us, and I mean, I can lower my walls and I can talk to everybody else about it, but like what will it accomplish at the end? That's...
I don't know, Silnan. Your friends can help you, and I know that, and I know it's hard to control your emotions. But we can't just sit idly by while this monster feeds on you. This creature feeds on your soul. I don't have the power to help you with it. We can get me that power. It'll take time, but it is plausible. But I just don't have the necessary resources to help you.
Okay. Yeah. I'll talk to Br'aad tomorrow.
If you want, when you land ship in Takendor, you can maybe even find somebody else who might know something more about this. Speak with some church, some priests, something.
I feel like we've done that everywhere we go.
I know it hasn't really been helpful. It seems like no one here knows, but if we can find even a tidbit of information, every little bit helps, right?
Yeah. You're right.
I think we could get my name out more. Maybe that could also help, I'm not sure, but...
So we're going this direction, okay.
If we find a way to give myself more followers, more people giving me their faith, then if we can give me the faith that I need, it gives me more mana, more energy. And with that, I can maybe push off these forces, but right now I'm far too weak. It's already stronger than I.
God, I wish I knew that when we killed that vampire. We got interviewed, for God's sake.
I don't really want to ask that of you. I don't want you to be my vessel, my speaker. But if not you, then who?
That's a good point. I mean, we are in a loving relationship.
What?
I don't know. You're kind of like
I'd hold your tongue to that one, Sonnen Vengalore. I still love you, but sometimes you piss me off.
As I do, yeah.
You,
Same old.
You should get some rest. You do deserve it.
Yeah.
As I said, any information you can find about this thing inside you, we still haven't really pinpointed its full creation, its full reasoning, but anything we can find out might help us learn fully how to drive it off.
Yeah, I'll try to look into it more once we land.
If you need anything, I'm here. can supply what little bit of clairvoyance I can. I may not be powerful, but I can still see. I can still understand some things outside of your vision.
So I'm just kind of, thank you. Yeah.
And then as your eyes slowly open and you're revisited back to the room you were sitting in,
Then they close again and he sleeps.
And then
Snores.
that ends the second day for Sonnen. The first day being full of mostly just no interaction with anybody at all and keeping to himself.
Welcome to Wheatie's Mid-Roll Game Show. Here today we have 6 lovely contestants, starting with Twitch, Twitter, Discord, Patreon, iTunes, and YouTube. Let's get to know the contestants a little bit. Let's start with you, Twitch. Ah, yes. You can find me over at twitch.tv/JRWI show. And make sure to follow the boys, for we have started a new stream team. That's right, the JRWI stream team. And moving on to our next contestant, that would be Twitter. I am Twitter. Okay, cut, let's get a retake on that. Yes, my mistake. And our next contestant will be Twitter. Thanks for having me, Wheatie. You can find me over at twitter.com/JRWI show. And if you have anything related to Just Roll With It, make sure to use the hashtag JRWI. All of the party members check it quite frequently. Yeah, whatever, Twitter. Let's move on to the next contestant. Would that be me? Correct, Discord. That would be you. You can find me over at discord.gg/JRWI. We've got a lot of interesting channels in our Discord, lots of fan art and discussions, and a great community over there. Feel free to join, and we and all the community will make you feel welcome. This next contestant I am going to introduce by myself, and that contestant would be Patreon. Listen here, Patreon, we could not be here without you. Thanks to your support, we've achieved our goal of weekly episodes. And if you would like to support us, which you by no means have to, you can achieve such rewards as getting to play D&D with us, and even have a call with all the party members. You'll also get a shout out on the podcast, and access to exclusive merch drops, and exclusive episodes and one-shots that only Patreons get to hear. Now, onwards to the last 2 contestants. Here we have iTunes. Make sure to support us on iTunes and give us a rate. And the last one, YouTube, you can speak for yourself. Thank you, Edie. It's YouTube. Make sure you like us on YouTube and share with your friends. And don't forget to ring the notification bell. Thank you so much, YouTube. I want to thank every one of you guys for your support. And let's move on with the game show. Hold on, guys. I'm getting a call. Yes? What? We have to shut it down. But we just started. Oh, no. Oh. I'm so sorry, folks, but we're gonna have to shut down this game show, for there is a angry horde of 1,000 spiders that is infesting the building as we speak, and if we do not stop this game show right now, we will all die instantly. But wait, before we go, I must give a shout out to the following sponsors. Those are our Patreons. Except we don't have enough time. The spiders are coming. I have to read it at the end of the episode. Ah!
On the third day, while Silnan is out of his room walking down the lower one of the deck hallways, probably towards the bar for some food or something, or just to get up to the upper deck, you bump shoulders with Br'aad. Looking down, keeping your hood up, you haven't really been watching much of where you've been going or what you've been doing.
I have a tray full of scones.
They fall everywhere. Oh no.
No, they don't.
You have more
I
kiwis.
ruined everything.
But you
Not
bump
yet.
shoulders with Br'aad, and as you look up, you see what kind of expression does Br'aad have?
Do you? So when you bump shoulders with me, do you look back at me or no?
I stop for a second and look at you. Yeah.
Okay, I look at you too. I just Oh, hey.
Hey, Br'aad. We should talk sometime. Maybe not now. You look like you're busy with your scones.
I do have scones.
Can I have one?
Oh, you want one this time?
Damn it. Listen, I'm sorry about what happened at the party. I wasn't myself, you know.
No, and you haven't been yourself.
Yeah, you could say that. Listen, remember back in the wharf, like 40 episodes ago? Remember back in the wharf?
Everything. I remember everything that happened.
When I touched that gem and then my arm got possessed and then I ate a Kenku and then there were voices in my
Yeah,
head.
and then you died, and then
I
it choked me
died,
while
and
you were
it choked
dying.
you. But that happened. What happened?
Can't forget that. That's a source of immense trauma for me. Every night in my
I'm
my
so
dreams,
sorry.
I relive it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah. So that's kind of all reached an
where are you
apex.
going with that? Yeah.
And God, how do I say this without sounding insane? A demon take over me hurt people, me love.
That's the worst way you could have said it, actually.
Yes. Okay, maybe we should retcon that.
I'll give you one. Everybody gets
yeah,
one.
you can try again. You can try again.
I don't know how to actually explain it though. How do I explain this without sounding completely insane?
We've gone through some nonsense. It would have to be pretty batshit for me not to believe it.
Well, there's literally a demon inside me that kind of takes control. Like,
I feel that, brother.
no, I mean literally.
No. Yeah, that.
No, like people talk about their inner demons a lot. I have literal inner demons. There's like three people up there.
You know, as a wise wizard once told me, Selden, there are two wolves inside you.
Yeah, but these aren't. Okay.
Here, I think I understand, and I've known for a while about this curse you're going through, obviously, and
I mean, yeah, I've talked to you about
I
it
know
kind of,
that
but it's never been
I know that it's getting worse.
this bad. Yeah,
Here, I give him one of the scones.
I munch.
Okay, yeah, those are part of the batch I was throwing away. I did a great grape run with Taxi, and they didn't turn out so hot. But I mean,
The taste is more similar to
maybe
like if the scone had raisins in it, but like the raisins are kind of old.
I eat it. I take one bite.
It's sort of like it's kind of like a really shitty Fig Newton bar.
Doesn't taste amazing.
Doesn't
but
taste
like, wow,
great.
this is you made these. This is great.
yeah, they are. If Taxi was here,
Great grapes.
Did somebody say
Yeah,
great
great.
scones?
Uh-oh.
Scones.
we did.
Wait, is
you-
actually
Yeah, he passes by. Here, Taxi, you want the rest
I
of
thought
them?
you were throwing those. Oh, sure, I'll take them. I'd enjoy
Yeah,
them.
that's what I thought.
Have a nice
Wait,
brother
bring them-
talk, and then I'll keep going.
throwing them where?
The garbage they suck.
Oh, thank God. Okay, it wasn't just me. I thought.
But
Oh,
since you really wanted one,
I mean, yeah, they weren't awful.
that one cake I made was pretty good though.
Listen, anyway, I guess the long and short of it is, I can't control myself sometimes, and I need you to look out for me if that happens.
I mean, yeah, that's what brothers are for. I just kind of wishing I heard like a sorry, Br'aad in there.
Wait, I swear I said
Somewhere.
sorry, like early. I did say
There's
sorry.
another one. Couldn't hurt. I mean,
I look at you straight. I look at Br'aad straight in the eyes. Br'aad,
okay.
I'm sorry
Yes, Silnan.
for everything.
Thank you. Now, will you let me and let us help you?
Yeah. I mean, however you can. I don't know what we can do about a demon, but yeah, I would like that, I think.
Okay. Well, I've got a few ideas. And I wanna just kind of walk him down the hall. I want to catch him up on the whole thing that's been going on.
Let's do an
with
exorcism.
with the exorcism thing and how we busted into something and got in a fight with someone.
Yeah.
That so let's just say I've filled you in on all those details now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that where we're gonna end that off?
It's up to you.
I don't got much more to say.
Yeah, me neither. I'm good
Yeah.
for that. Good for that.
Okay, so ending that off, ending all of those.
Oh wait, no, actually I wanna make another batch of better scones.
Okay.
Oh,
but I
man.
want Silnan to help me.
Okay, baking with the brothers.
And Taxi is temporarily banned from the kitchen after making everything grape flavored without me noticing.
Evil, absolute monster.
Complete monster.
I was drunk from the training.
He just kept throwing them in behind my back. I'd put something in the oven, I'd look one way, and he just tossed them in over my shoulder.
On
Payback, bitch.
moving on.
Okay.
From then, what is it, Mountain?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Are we about to do something really important, or can I be drunk Mountain for just like a little bit?
You can be drunk Mountain if you'd like for a little bit. Go ahead.
I want to be drunk Mountain for just a little
Oh
bit.
God, what's
are
he
you
gonna
gonna
do?
Yeah, I don't know. I just want to be drunk Mountain. It's been a
Well,
while.
for what? Like what scenario? Because we're about to move on to like you guys landing. So if you guys will make up a scenario where you'd be drinking and be drunk Mountain before, because I don't.
that's fine.
You
I
were
doubt
li-
you.
well, you were
I
just
doubt you want to be
drinking with-
plastered where you guys are landing in the city. So I don't.
Yeah, no,
I
not
was
really.
gonna
That's why I
say-
was asking.
You were just drinking with Taxi when you left off, so you could say that you guys stayed up really late.
All
drinking.
right,
So
what
you
do
guys
we
want to do a little drunk
What do
funny
we do?
bit? Go for it.
We get drunk. We get drunk as hell. What do we do? We're at the bar.
You
We're at
prank me
the,
with
we're at
the,
the
you
bar.
prank me with the grapes is one thing.
Taxi. Let's make a pizza. I want pizza.
How about instead of making a pizza, we throw grapes
Yeah.
into all the Br'aad's
Yeah.
preparations for tomorrow's baking session. Yeah? And then afterwards,
yeah.
he'll never know.
Let's do
All
it.
of his things are going to be grape flavored and he's going to be livid. Now, after that, we go into the captain's quarters and we draw something on the captain's face. Yeah?
Whoa, what are we gonna draw?
A pizza mountain.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god.
He'll
He's
never
gonna
know.
wake up tomorrow.
Oh,
Okay.
dude. Hold on. All right, we gotta be really quiet. Or else Brad's gonna
I've
hear
been
us. Okay?
the most quiet I've ever been
You are very
all
quiet.
my
You're
life,
like
mountain.
So quiet. You're like quiet like a cat.
How-
like a cat.
How quiet
Love
do
to
it? Okay,
fucking wall.
I'll take care of the kitchen. Real quick.
Yeah,
I go
yeah.
take care of the. I do the grape thing.
There's a piece of make a pretty good.
I also loudly follow behind him into the kitchen.
And we're just
Stumbling
going,
around,
I'm
bumping
going
into
great,
things.
great grapes. I actually still have the spells.
What their antics are very visible to everyone. They're not being stealthy in the
Br'aad has
slightest.
casted a spell around his head. He's casting an illusion spell, so it's basically like AirPods. And so he doesn't hear them just flinging grapes everywhere.
Next,
yeah.
He has magic AirPods
next
in.
amount.
Hey, shh. Pass me some more grapes. Just a couple more.
Okay.
Give me grapes. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Now.
All right. I'm gonna throw them at Br'aad, and we're gonna run.
Okay.
Br'aad is
Okay.
since Br'aad is so oblivious to everything. By the way, he is currently dancing on the counter, just so you know, with his eyes closed, listening to this music.
I thought this was really late at night.
Yeah,
It's super late.
Okay, then we
he
do
doesn't
that.
think anyone's around, dude. He's just vibing.
Okay.
Vibing heavy.
After this, we need to prank. We need to joke on everyone else. All right.
On everybody in the world. We
No.
just get everyone. We're gonna get
Take
everybody.
it back down. Dial it back a few
Okay.
notches. So
then who?
we
Then
go
who?
into the captain.
We need key players. Okay.
No, Mountain. Mountain,
Stop,
listen
wait.
to me. I drop my staff. I pick it up.
What?
We go.
Okay, pick it up.
We go into the captain's quarters.
Yeah.
And we take
Baby, you're a fire.
okay, first let's get out of the kitchen. Let's start heading towards that.
Okay.
Okay, we walk
Okay,
to
you
the
guys-
captain's
we start
quarters.
walking
You guys
towards the
walk
door.
up back to
I
the
turn
main
around
deck
and just
and
fucking
up to the captain's
dart
quarters.
them at him.
It's a set of double doors that are currently locked.
We're going to see how many grapes we can fit in his mouth.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. We can fit so many. He's got such a big mouth. All right.
Okay, I give him a handful of grapes. Go in there. You got this.
Okay, I got it.
The door is locked.
All right,
The door
all
to the
right.
captain's quarters.
Don't
are
worry, I'm
locked.
going to pick it.
I go to
I'm
open
going
the
to
door.
pick it with my claws. I'm going to pick.
You can do
I'm going
that?
to pick the lock with my claws.
How do you
Watch
do
this.
that?
Make it, I want you to make a sleight of hand check with disadvantage.
Can I roll 2d10?
Why?
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm drunk.
Just thought he could slip that one by.
Come on. A what? Sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand, yeah.
A what?
15.
15. You wiggle your claws around in there, trying to see if you can undo the lock. But you cannot. You are just very kind of drunkenly with both your claws, kind of just like fingering the lock hole, hoping that at some point it's gonna click or ka-chunk. And at one point it does. And the door swings open. And the captain is standing there, staring at both of you, very drunkenly looking into his door.
Where's the bathroom?
I gotta pee.
I really was looking for the bathroom.
I feel like we use that excuse a lot.
Is this
You
where?
drunkards piss off.
Where's the
No,
leak,
I'm trying to
ma'am?
piss on the toilet in the bathroom. Where's the bathroom?
The loos are downstairs.
I go up to his mouth and I start trying to put the grapes in.
He starts like slapping away your hand. He's like, stop.
Mountain, we failed. Come on, Mountain, we failed.
Here.
try
And then
one.
he
Yo.
reaches behind him and he pulls out a bottle of it's actually in a sort of a wooden it's bottle shaped, but it's made out of pure grained wood, so you can't really tell what's in it. But he hands it to you and you can hear liquid in it sloshing around. And he goes, this is Captain's brewed whiskey. So
I want to
drink, both of you. Drink until you pass out, and please leave me alone.
I want to sneakily put
Okay, you should.
grapes in his
You
pocket.
don't.
Just slide a hand check with disadvantage again
You
because
don't.
you're drunk.
You don't want the grapes though.
I don't want any grapes. No.
Oh. Okay.
I'm giving you free liquor. Please
14.
leave me to sleep. He slaps away your hand as you start reaching for his back pocket. You have like a single grape in between your two claws, and you're like slowly reaching, and he just smacks it away, and the grape rolls on the floor.
I thought that was the toilet. My bad. I'm gonna go.
That's-
He shuts the door
To the
very hard,
bathroom.
and it sends both of you kind of falling backwards a bit because you're so drunk. But you have free liquor, and tasting it, both of you are completely astounded by not only the strength of but the quality of it. And you drink your merry fill until you pass out for that night.
I'm gonna go.
This is taste.
And the next day comes. Morning arrives.
I dropped my staff again. Sorry. I'm gonna put this belt away.
Not only are you awakened by the sound of a bell ringing, everybody, you hear the sound of a small bell being chimed back and forth vigorously. But as your eyes jolt awake, Mountain, you wake up from the hardwood planked floor where you passed out. But you hear the bell ringing, you hear birds chirping.
Shut
And all
the
of
fuck
you-
up!
All of you donning your equipment and moving once more, you head back to the main deck.
Hell yeah.
What you see in front of you is a gorgeous landscape looking towards the front of the ship, looking towards your destination. The first thing you see is a mountain range. All of the snow-peaked mountains moving back far into the fog in the distance. Far beyond what your eyes can see, the mountain range stretches across the north. But at the foot of that mountain range, you see divided by these large white stoned walls moving across the ground. From this high up, you can see different set up cities moving off in the distance, attached to the sides of the mountains around these walls. But you see the towers coming up as well. The towers made of the same white stone with these circular stained windows that have these yellow and black decals showing different stories of, you see some of them showing off pickaxes breaking into ores, showing off the mining economy, while others show off their combat skills, showing stories of times they defeated certain monsters like elementals, giants, Duragar. You see all these wonderful painted murals surrounding these towers that surround a much larger building at the very top of the city you guys are heading towards, which is going to be kind of close to the center of where the large wall is. But surrounding these pillared towers, you see the castle. You see a large domed top with a golden spire that comes out of that as well. Also made out of the same very, very shiny white stone. It's almost blinding in the daylight from this distance up, to be honest. But you see people moving around. Even from this distance, you can see small, what look like specks of people. And from this distance, you gauge that must mean there is a mass amount, a very large crowd surfacing somewhere around the front side of that castle. You can see just several little, what look to be like the heads of people making a large circular shape. You see that in the distance. You see your destination coming very, very soon. Probably another couple of hours or so to land because of the time it takes, but you can see it in the distance now.
Look, Mountain, look down on your subjects.
Yeah, my subjects.
Your subjects.
The kingdom is quite large. The entire surface area of it. It's you would guess probably about a fourth of the size of Viecta. So it's a pretty decent sized kingdom, quite a few cities sprinkled out throughout it.
We've come so far, Mountain. I've seen you grow so much. And look at the kingdom that will soon. Are you drunk?
No. Yes, I don't. No.
I push him a little.
No, I'm good. Just long night. Some with grapes.
Big grapes?
Shut up.
What do you know about? What do you know about grapes?
Just tapes. Tapes.
Tapes.
Tapeworms.
Those haven't even been invented yet. Oh, tapeworms. Yes.
Yes.
You got to long night, long enough to get tapeworms.
Long night, long worms.
I step away from you because you have tapeworms.
The captain who's at the helm of the ship just speaks out loud to the whole party and says, "We'll be landing within the next couple of hours, possibly 2 to 3. If there's anything you guys have stowed away in any of the barracks, any of the equipment rooms, please grab it before you leave. This will be our final stop."
Probably get the dog.
I go back in.
The tree is just sitting next to you, Mountain, just looks up with the most just wonder in his eyes, like the most confusion when you say that. Just not being able to even hold it in. Oh, hill tree. But a few hours pass, and the ship begins to get much closer to the city. And you begin to see a lot more of the detail. You get to see the lines and the bricking showing these this really nice way that the walls of the buildings are cobbled. Some of the roofs as well being circular platforms on top of these buildings. And from the circular platforms, you can see very nice vinery dangling off, falling down the sides of the buildings, adding this sort of decor to the white and gold, the sort of vibrant green that really changes the entire aesthetic of it, really. And as you're looking down now, at this height, you can see a lot more of the people. You can even make out faces, bodies. One of the first things you see is a lot of non-organic people, a lot of these autonomous people, much like Chirp. They, however, don't move like Chirp. Chirp, you see when he moves, is very, very unhuman. When he moves, it's very hard, like the joints slam down. Like he obviously takes no care to his body, knowing that he doesn't feel pain, so he slams onto the ground. And he moves very much like a robot would. But as you look down and see all these ones moving, you see them move like humans, behave like people walking around the city. You see a lot of them being accompanied by dwarfs, and you see that that's really the majority of the population as well are these tall warforged and these short dwarfs. There's not a lot of mix in between in the crowds you see as you pass over the front area of the city, heading towards one of those spires that have the windows on it I mentioned earlier, heading towards one of those that actually has a docking for airships on the side of it, right next to the castle.
I'm gonna cast Disguise Self, and I'm gonna get 1 foot shorter and a big beard.
Okay. All right, that works for me.
Should we be in like disguise or?
Yar.
Why are you?
I mean, I'm drunk.
The boat comes settling down
You should be fine.
Into the dock, and you see waiting for you a single dwarven female who is being accompanied by 2 warforged to her left and right, them obviously being much taller than her, and they both are wearing this very brown, basic, almost like a frontwards cloak that just dangles from, it has a drape on the left shoulder where it falls in sort of like an upside down V shape. And then the rest of the cloak is just this dark brown color with a few green stripes coming through it. Very dusty, very basic, but that's all the warforged are wearing. However, the woman is wearing a very nice white dress with these golden adornments. Lots of jewelry fall down the sides of her ears, these large golden bracers that cup the backside of her ears. Jewelry that dangs off the braids of her finely braided blonde hair. She immediately screams royalty. But she seems rather young. It's hard to really guess a dwarf's age unless you are a dwarf, but to Mountain, you would probably assume she's in her probably 50s, 60s, which is quite young for a dwarf. Just basic adulthood at that point. Very young adult. But the boat pulls in the captain once he rests the helm, and the crystals lock in place on the bottom. He immediately begins stepping down the stairs, looks at all of you on the main deck, pulling out his ledgers and says, I am going to be heading into the castle now so I can get my reports to the people I need to. I have a lot of paperwork, in fact, so please do not get into any trouble, as if you do, I will simply just leave you here.
Arg, aye, Captain.
Wonderful.
Why are you doing that?
This woman here is here to meet you. She was here for, I do believe, you guys, so I'm going to head out now. Good luck, and please do not cause any trouble, as you are also here under my name.
We will be fine.
I don't believe you, but I have faith in you.
Me neither.
Never mind, it's not gonna work.
Everyone can change. And then he pats you on the shoulder, Br'aad, and then he steps off the ship.
I want to act.
I say, you're right, and my beard gets a foot longer.
I want to pose as. No, never mind. I'm not gonna do that. I'll just.
Yeah. No, do it.
No,
What were you gonna
it's
say?
not. No, I wouldn't do that. I would taxi wouldn't do that. I'll just give like a little. It's like a little. I don't know how to explain this movement yet.
No, I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know what you're doing either.
I'll just I'll give Mountain a little bro shoulder fist bump. I'm gonna fist bump his shoulder. You know what I mean? The way they go. Let's go.
Okay.
Just gonna look up at you.
Was it as awkward in game as it just was?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look up at him like, what was that? The fuck was that? What were you doing, buddy?
I don't know where we are anymore. As friends, I just.
It's really good.
Okay, so anyway, you step off the ship, everyone together. Mm-hmm. You guys come down the planking, and you're met face to face with this woman and the 2 warforged. The warforged look very normal. Both of them have a very basic sort of body type. It looks sort of like that of a muscular male humanoid. One of them being slightly taller, and as opposed to having 2 eyes, he actually just has a single blue circle around the forehead to upper face region, and then the bottom just has 3 lines where the mouth would be, 3 straight blue lines. As the second one, who's a little bit shorter, he's slightly stockier, and you see on his he has 2 large angled triangle eyes that are a bright orange with a single triangled nose shape. But you step off, and she smiles, and her eyes immediately float around. She looks at Mountain, and then she looks at Br'aad, and then she gets confused and looks at both of you, and goes, "Which one of you are Thorhund?"
Take a guess.
I raise my hand.
They call me
They call you.
Thorhund. I'm him.
I was just playing. I can already tell
It's
it's
me.
you. And then she looks at
Big.
She looks at
I'm a
Mountain.
d-
You look a lot like Father.
Is that right?
I'm happy to see you, brother. I never thought I would.
I
Brother.
look curious.
So you're what, my sister?
I am.
Are there like DNA test results with that exclamation?
Any lie detector tests, like in Jerry?
Oh, can I insight check the fucking dwarf?
Oh, yeah, if you want, you can.
Yeah, we literally have a thing for that.
If you're asking, yes, you can insight check her when she says that. So I'm just trying to find. I don't. What page was this on? Sorry, give me a moment. Give me a moment.
Do you have like a name
Yeah,
for
I do.
her?
I was
Can't
looking
find
for
it.
my ancestry.com spell and I couldn't find it.
Damn, dude, that's so unfortunate.
21 as insight.
Sucks, dude.
21.
On insight, yep.
She, everything she says seems to be true so far. Yes.
We came from the same balls.
She goes, I am Princess Madeline. And, well, yes, you are my brother.
Staring at her real hard with my insight eyes.
Well, I guess it's good to meet you.
Yes.
I go by Mountain though. I don't go by Thorhund, as you call me.
Well, I will be sure to tell you Mountain from now on then. But Father, he is, very sick right now. So he's not awake at the moment. It's still quite, early in the day. Yes. So, if you'd like, you can come for a tour of the castle. I can show you guys around, or you're free to see the city. I mean, I'm sure it's up to you, but we can call for you when the king is ready, when Father is awake.
I just look to the rest of the party. Like, well, what? You guys want to go in, or you want to? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I would like to figure out why we're here. You know?
Castle seems cool.
Castle. Last time we were in one of those, and I look at the dwarf lady.
Let's see the.
It was great. Castles are awesome. Let's go into the castle.
We love castles.
Let's go to the castle.
Everyone in them, they love us. Castles love us.
Love us.
I-
Castle people.
I sadly cannot be the one to give you the tour, as I am far too busy. But Castor and Taunter here, they will gladly show you around.
More chips.
Oh, speaking of Chirp, where is he? And then she says that she looks up and you hear the heavy fall as he comes down the plank as well. And he goes, "Hello, princess. I have brought the package, just like stated."
The package.
Is that what we are to you, Chip? Amazon.
She just
Thought we
she
were
just smiles.
cool.
She goes, "Yes.
Come on, sure.
Thank you, Chirp. Your payment will be given to you by the guard as always."
You did this for money?
getting paid?
You cheap
Sure,
bastard!
what?
I thought you loved us.
Sure, if you dapped
Yeah,
me
whatever.
up.
I gave you flowers! This is unbelievable.
I didn't kill you.
Well,
I loved you.
of course I do it for money. Why else would I do something? I was very happy to meet all of you though, and I want you to be my friends. But no offense, I'm gonna go get my money now.
I
Dap me
respect
up
that.
one last time, sure.
I
He
respect
very
that. Gotta get
awkwardly, like
paid.
very just solid, like straight
Mwah,
motions.
mwah.
You're like, eh.
It's beautiful.
And then he walks off with the princess and leaving
Homie
the
gotta
two-
get straight, right? It's hard out on the streets, I understand.
leaving the two warforged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The taller one, which she pointed to as Castor, steps forward and gives you a very small, gracious bow. You notice his body is much more slender, much more long-limbed than his companion, but he gives a very small, very solemn bow and goes, it is very nice to meet you. I will be showing you around. If there are any questions, feel free to ask me or to ask Tontor here, and we will gladly answer with what we know.
Mountain raises his hand immediately.
No, you don't
Yes.
have to do that. You're like a royalty or something. You can just say.
Oh, why don't you talk like a robot? You telling me Chirp doesn't have to talk like that?
Chirp
You
has
just-
what we call damage.
What? That's messed up, dude.
Uh,
That's just
Chirp
not
was
mean.
Chirp
He's
is
trying.
a defective unit.
All
That's
right,
why
now
he
you-
is only primarily used for scouting.
You're
and
going a little
for
bit too
trips
far.
like what he did. Well, I'm not saying it to be rude in any way. You must understand I don't have these emotions.
Well, I appreciate you greeting us in a way that is not telling us the quickest way you could kill us.
yeah, he did do that. He did do
I'm
that.
sure he did. As I said, Chirp was a CX-52, I believe, was what his serial number was. He was one of the primary soldiers in the beginning wars against the dwarfs and the elves. And during that time, he obviously suffered many different damage from siege weapons, falling attacks, and the several blows to his innards, I guess I should say, has left him a little bit defective.
I think it gives him character.
Okay.
So ones
So
like
is-
that we primarily use as delivery men or scouts. But as the good princess said, I am Castor, and this is Taunter. Any other questions before we continue?
Not really.
Wonderful. Well then.
I have
Follow
a
me.
question, actually.
Oh, and what would that be?
There's not like a lot of, random mysterious disappearances in the kingdom, right? Or anything?
Mysterious disappearances.
Yeah. Like at nighttime, people just go missing.
He looks over. He looks over at Taunter, and Taunter just kind of looks up back at him, and then he looks back and goes, "No, who would tell you such a thing?"
Oh, no one told me that. I just had to make sure. That's how I enter a kingdom from now on.
Oh,
Need to
well,
preface
I
with the
assure you,
information up front.
Tagendor is a very safe place.
That's what they all say.
They do
don't
actually
know
all say that.
of any, at least
Screw.
not any serial kidnappings in the area. Obviously, crime is crime, and we can't stop that. But there is there's no serial kidnappings happening.
Yet.
That taxi, be warned, that is also what they would say if there were serial kidnappings happening.
But there is not.
Right.
So there is.
There is not.
Shows to. If you want to,
Okay.
are we going to the
There's
castle?
no serial kidnappings.
Of course, right
I
this
wi-
way.
I
And
wink.
then he turns on heel and
Yeah.
starts to lead you guys into the castle. Taunter waits until everybody passes, and Taunter just follows behind you guys. So you guys walk down the very marbled floors, the very marbled hallways of this castle,
Do my boots squeak?
looking around.
Do my boots squeak? Do I squeak?
Occasionally, yeah,
Yeah, I squeak extra.
on purpose. You're like,
Yep.
But as you're walking, you pass many dwarven-sized armor sets lining the walls with war hammers. You see a lot of there's a lot of trophies, weapons, and armor displaying battles, displaying combat. A lot of pride for conquest and for military, you can tell in the castle walls just by the decor. There is occasionally as well, you see tapestries from some of the neighboring artists of this kingdom painting some of the walls as well. Very beautiful descriptions of dwarven tales and dwarven folklore. Castor briefly describes to you guys, pointing at them, talking about different moments from past kings, accomplishments they made in the kingdom, very historically interesting things. One of them that is very notable is that he mentions about 4 kings ago. It was a king by the name of Tariq, who was a very fearsome conquest king. He was the deciding factor in their push for more territory, and the fact that they have more cities now was because of his reign and his demand for more land from the elves. He was the starting factor from the war between the elves and the dwarves approximately 550 to 600 years ago. So very, very long time ago, this war broke out. This is the same war that that Chirp is from as well. He describes briefly that this king had a very powerful warhammer. That there are many tales, especially you can see as well in a lot of the designs. There's a lot of replicas of it hanging off the walls, and in a lot of the designs, this large white and golden warhammer with these wings that spread off the backside of it, with these red embezzled jewels sitting in the center where the wings end around center of the hammer's head. It's said that this was the weapon that saved them in a very dark day in the war. And it's there's many different tales saying exactly how or why, many different beliefs. It's kind of lost with time exactly what it did, but it's more of a staple at this point of the kingdom. It's a sign of good hope and a sign of power.
Velrisa wishes she could have that.
It looks really fucking cool. It looks so cool.
She's
Velrisa
admiring it.
way.
Her eyes are like glistening.
Can I do a perception check to see if any of these are in fact the real legendary
Make an
Warhammer?
Arcana check.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Awesome. Yeah, I got a 9.
I got an 8.
so-
Oh no!
Both of you
13.
don't feel any massive.
Guess we gotta take them all.
You guys don't have. You guys both neither. You feel very massive auras of power at all. And judging from how much this weapon is talked up, this is something that is known as an artifact by appraisers, by sorcerers and wizards, the like over enchanters especially. Artifacts are weapons, one of a kind from very ancient times that you would be able to sense just being nearby it. You could feel its power in the air, but you don't feel that. So you're pretty confident none of these replicas are the real thing. They wouldn't just leave it out, as it literally gives off a energy. Weapons of that power you can feel even when you walk by mountains. Sometimes you can feel a vibration in the air coming off of Flame Tongue. Only for Mountain, only like a little bit away from him, but for something like that you could feel it very strongly just pulling against you. But Caster continues walking you down the hallway, showing you a lot of the history of the Great War, of the dwarves' conquest, and how, as I said, they seem very prideful of their military and also their artisans, their artistry. They show off a lot of paintings, a lot of statues, sculptures, stuff like that. But near the end of the tour, he walks you through a bunch of different rooms, showing you where the dining hall is, where the courtroom is, where the throne room is. But he only takes you around the first floor, as he says the other floors are not accessible by outsiders. He only shows you the first floor, which has most of the communal and community areas that are well accessible to you. Near the end of the tour, he walks you guys to the front entrance, the front gate where you'd actually enter the castle if you didn't come from the sky. And he puts his hands behind his back very formally and gives you one final bow and says, I hope you've enjoyed your tour. If you'll need anything else, I will be around this area. Just yell for me and I should be able to hear you. Is there any more questions? Anything you guys would like to know about?
I've got nothing.
Just, here for mountain protection, friend, support.
Right. And I just want to say, you guys are obviously in high regard to the king. The king is very interested in you. And obviously not just his son, but the adventuring party that's as strong as he is. So you guys are listed as temporary thanes of the castle, meaning that you have free lodging in the nearby inns and free food as well. This also means you can get away with a bit more than an average citizen can, but I would advise heavily against it, as being temporaries. It'll be very frowned upon.
Commit some crime.
You said free food.
Yes,
food and
yes,
drink.
and
everything.
not just in the nearby inns, but here on the castle grounds as well. You are given free lodging and free food as well, being temporary thanes.
Did you say there were...
Free shit. Let's do it.
What was that?
Never mind.
Around the town of Targandor, are we known? Is our presence? Are the people here aware of us? How will they know that we're getting free lodging?
He kind of his head just cocks to the side for a second, and he says, "You do know who you are, right? Your name is known throughout many places."
Is it?
Wait, what? Wait, for what? Good or bad? Tell me now.
What do we do?
What do we do?
Which one? Which one do they notice?
Positively
one?
or the
It's a lot of
negatives? Because there
things.
are definitely negatives.
Well,
No, unless there aren't.
How do we?
Well,
how
no,
do we-
There aren't.
there
It might
could have been.
could be.
there are many stories traveling the lands about the fated 5 heroes. Well, I guess
Oh,
for
that's
some,
right. We had an
Some call
interview.
it.
Yes.
Some call it. Some
The
call it
heroes.
that. But
I forgot we had
there
the
is
interview with
there
the
is
man.
spark amongst the people, obviously between you, with what happened in the wharf down near Viecta.
Okay, I don't know who told the man. Who told the man that interviewed us about the wolf? Who told him that?
I didn't tell him about the
I
wolf.
don't know.
With all due respect, my good sir,
I would
there
not.
was a massive killing in the streets of a capital city, of a city-state. Word travels fast about something like that.
Listen, that was.
I don't know.
king,
I don't know
Yes,
who would have
yes.
done that.
Yes, the
Such
king.
a gross act of violence.
Do not
and
do not get me wrong. I'm not saying you were the ones who killed all those people. I'm
Why
simply
would we
saying
do that?
after the slaughterings, the king has been after the head of the fated for some time. That is known. That king.
No, so
Oh,
he
that's-
still wants to kill us. Great.
Fucking asshole. Get over
But
it.
I wouldn't worry too much about that. Some people that leave sour taste in their mouths, they believe anything they hear. But
Man, I gotta
not
tell you.
not many of the smarter people listen to the lies of that
Do
king.
you
The Great King's Wharf does not have a good reputation with any neighboring
do you have
locations.
do you
Yeah, I
have
can't
word
imagine.
on that king? Do you know what's going on with the wharf right now?
We don't have policies with the Great King's Wharf. In fact, the last time, if I remember correctly, we spoke to the King Rigmund. He told our king he would do no business with dirty dwarfs.
It's
So we have not heard any word of the wharf or its holdings
Right.
currently.
that king
A real
sucks.
charmer.
For some reason, he actually caught me and framed me for a crime and threw me in jail. Man,
I would say it almost reflects better on us that he wants us dead.
Yes, as
he's
I said,
fat. He's fat.
I know for a fact. I'm sure you are very good people. I've heard of what happened with the calamity, the burden, the Baron. Yes, the Baron. I've heard that it's been repaired, and I've heard of other little
One of our
feats you've
better
done
moments.
throughout your times. So
tell me.
else?
I have a
something tells
question.
me the king just likes to lie.
Has the story of how I sucker punched a vampire's head clean off, has that come around yet? Oh,
I cannot say I've heard that one, my good sir.
damn that interviewer.
You'll have to
How
talk
about
with
the one
some
that
guards.
the one where I stopped an asteroid
didn't
with one hand? Has that
There
one
is a
gotten around
there
yet?
is a song about which one of you's the druid?
What did it? Why?
Point of taxi.
That guy.
Point of
There
taxi.
is
You
a
can't
there,
tell?
there's a
And
there's
I
a song.
cast Druid Craft, and there's a bunch of
There is a
plants.
song the bards sing of a of the fated druid, the one who brought the peace and nature back to the lands of the Baron.
Oh, it's no big deal. You don't have to sing about it.
Did they sing about what he brought to the drow?
no.
Hey, shut your mouth. That's
Either way.
behind closed garden fences, and we
Either
don't
way,
talk
once
about
again,
it.
as I said, if you need me or a Tantor for anything, simply yell my name. I will be sure to come out and help you with anything
Right.
you need. But you are free to explore the city and do what you want. As I said, you are temporary Thanes. People know your name, and people quite like you around here. So try not to fuck it up.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank
Do
you.
that. We
There's
won't.
no way that
won't
we can
fuck it up.
Definitely won't happen.
We never fuck
Nope.
things up
Nope.
because
Never
we're
fuck
the
up anything.
fated.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
well,
us.
if
Faded
there
did
is
not
no
fuck up.
further
That's
questions,
the
I will
long
get back to my
version
words.
of that. Yeah. Do that.
Great, yeah.
You go. Good job. Yes.
He gives
Yes.
one final small
Yeah.
small
Sorry,
bow.
applaud.
You did it. You did it.
He gives you a bow, and he sort of he twists his wrist a few times, giving that little saltiness to the bow. And
Oh my
appreciate-
god, yeah, I give him a full-on encore.
I'm just-
And then he
with,
and then he
French
I'm just
Division.
clapping.
Standing
and then he
ovation.
turns and Taunter follows, and they walk off back into the castle.
I want to immediately turn to the party and just say, am I the only one who forgot about the fucking king in the wharf?
How do you forget about him?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't remember he was trying to kill us. I didn't.
Yeah, he hates us.
How do you forget?
I mean,
Mountain. We just talked about this like a few nights ago. How do you forget about the king?
Every night.
I didn't forget about the
struggle
king.
with
I knew
the
he existed.
reality.
I just didn't. I forgot he was actively trying to kill us.
I don't really get why he's trying to kill. Brandon's dead. You know, why? We did what he wanted. Is it like an image?
They
Well, I
should
don't
be
think we
thanking
did
us.
everything.
They should
Yeah.
be trying to fucking kill us.
What else did he want from us?
I don't fucking remember.
Anyway, what was the robot's name again?
What one?
What was the what?
The one that was telling
No,
us
his
to
name
call
was-
him if we
That
needed
was
anything.
that was Castor.
Tito. He was Tito.
You should just say Totino.
I said what you
It was
said.
Costa and the other
Castor,
one
okay.
was Tanta.
Caster and taunter. So like the word
Oh
cast
right,
and the word
Sylvan,
taunt.
I forgot. He's
Oh,
like he's
yeah.
taking notes. I
They're,
forgot you're
um,
literate now.
Like quite literally as
Yes, right.
as you can even kind of tell by looking at the physique of those Warforged, but they seem to be very literally named after their occupation. Like Caster is
yeah.
he's a caster, and from the look of Taunter, he does something with taunting. You're not quite sure, but
Listen, Sylvan, I'm sorry. Also, my memory's not great. How did you become literate again?
Just kind of clicked, right? I was just sitting there one day and I was like, oh, where did I get that? Yeah.
Can I insight check that? I probably will fail and it will
Can we
be
also
funny. But
insight?
go for it.
We're all here, right?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but you don't know about
I
the gym.
accepted
Don't
as
know about the gym,
whole
no.
facts.
yes,
Yeah.
a 9.
Do I need to roll against
I
that?
rolled,
Not for that one, but for depending on what
Yeah.
tax he gets.
22.
Yeah,
22, make a deception
that
check.
makes sense, Sylvan. That makes sense as my
Sylvan,
brother that you
yeah.
would suddenly yes.
Make a
Yeah,
deception check.
all the time.
Words, man. I get you.
I got a 15.
A 15. So, Taxi, you very subtly, as you hear Br'aad and Silnan talking, you look over and you notice that Silnan does seem to be fibbing. He does seem to be telling some sort of lie. You don't know why or for what reason, but he is lying about how he got literate.
That's crazy. You can read and I can read
Yeah, I
you,
can
and I
read,
know
I
that
can
you
write.
are telling the truth about
That's
this.
right, old brother of mine. I would never
That's
lie
right,
to
and
you.
we're on good terms now. You said sorry. We're in a good place.
God fucking damn it! You're guilting me out of character. You.
What?
What?
I'm Br'aad.
Moving on, where does everybody like? Would you guys like to do anything now that you're in the city? The city has everything you can think of, pretty much. Any kind of building. They have blacksmiths. They have Fletchers, primarily staying with bows and even staffs. They have woodworkers. They have leathermans. They have breeders. They have stables. They have
Time to abuse
got
our
what?
influence.
I gotta be honest.
They got hold
have
on.
what?
With the B? Start with a
Breeders?
B? Breeders? Like
You know,
dog
there are
breeders?
people who breed animals. Yes, there are people here who breed different types.
I want
of,
Jack to make friends.
Stop. That's not the right place.
No, I just want him to play with other dogs.
Oh, I see.
I got.
I don't want more dogs.
Listen, I don't.
There's a dog park in the city. It's actually up next to the castle.
That's
It's
awesome.
most of the nobles use it, but as you guys being temporary things, you're also welcome inside the garden surrounding the castle.
What are the motherfucking odds, boys?
I put live clock in the dog park.
Something you actually noticed, and even now, especially now that you're out in the more public areas, you see there are dogs. Like you see people walking around with their dogs, and you even haven't really seen much of that in other cities. Even in Viecta, you didn't see many people with dogs even as companions, as pets, as personal pets walking around. But there seems to be a lot of the dwarfs
'Cause
around
it's a
here
cool
seem
city.
to have dogs as pets. Seems to be even more common around here. But yeah, so
Dude,
mountains
this
heading
place
to
seems
the
pretty
dog
cool.
park. What's everybody else doing? Anybody else want to do anything special? Go anywhere? Need anything? Need general supplies, food, anything you've been wanting to purchase or look into? Libraries, knowledge.
I wonder if I could get a good. I wonder if I could upgrade one of my weapons on a good.
There
deal,
are
'cause I'm
there are there are
banging.
enchanters. There are enchanters and weaponsmiths all over the place.
I was gonna say, if I don't have money, we haven't gotten paid for anything we've ever done. So, I don't think.
It's true. We haven't.
well,
So it's time to
Besides
start
that,
now
I
with
have
extortion.
no money.
No.
Well, I mean, if we stay on this king's good side, maybe we can get some coin out of him.
You want to steal it?
I'm not saying steal it. I'm
No.
saying ask for it.
Usually you want to steal.
But they did say that we could get away with a little more than your
They
average
did say that. They did. And I don't know if you were listening, but he said the king already knows of Mountain's friendos, and he said they're all kind of powerful. So I think that means he likes you.
Just go to the king and ask him for
I'm
some
sure.
money. What's the worst
Knowing
thing?
kings, they got troubles. Maybe he'll have some little odd jobs.
I have just like a question to kind of expedite things. I don't really know how armor works. I've had like the same leather armor this whole time. Can you get like how expensive is like better armor?
Let me pull up Br'aad here. So everything is pretty damn expensive. For Br'aad, you are wearing just basic leather. You said.
I have studded
You have studded leather. Other than that, I don't know.
Is there a difference?
I don't know what. Yeah, there's a difference. Studded leather is better than leather.
Oh, okay.
Let me check to see. There's probably better light armor you could purchase. Let me see.
I'm just curious. I want to see like if it's so far out. If it's like, yeah, it's only 1,000 gold. I'll be like, all right, never mind. Forget I said
Well,
anything.
for light armor, let me see. The best light option I think might actually be studded leather. Let me see. So.
Hang on.
Yeah, it looks like it's studded.
Studded leather is probably the best option. So if you were wanting to up your armor class, you could go into medium. I don't know if you're proficient with medium armor as a
Probably not.
as a
Probably
bard.
not.
I don't think you are. You might. What was what bard college are you in? Glamour, right?
Yeah, I'm in there's no way.
I don't think you have. I can check for you real quick. It should say it on your character.
I don't. I just checked.
So yeah, you have. So your best option right now is what you have. You could get enchanted armor.
Okay.
You can get magical armor, which is like better. Like you can get like, but that stuff's very expensive, and you usually get it from quests and dungeons and stuff.
I was gonna say I don't think that's in my budget.
No. So, but right now, no, not right now at the current moment.
I just want to refill my my typical stuff. Then like get a couple crowbars and things like that.
Well, easier said than done. We will. Well, easy as said as being done. It's very simple. We will get that done very easily.
Okay.
That's what I meant to say, but I fucked it up.
Listen, I haven't had a rope for 30 episodes, and I really want a rope.
Yeah, you guys as Thanes as well, you will have easy access to the general store. So you could even get 50 feet of rope, and you said you also wanted some crowbars.
Yes.
You're given three crowbars and 50 feet of hempen rope for free. No charge.
I want some oil flasks. I want two
Two oil flasks.
flasks.
They can give that to you for free as well.
I wanna.
There's a limit of how much they will give you, depending on how
Oh.
much you're asking for. But for so far,
I have a Tinder
Dude,
box.
get the gun. Get the gun. Somebody just asked me today when Br'aad gets a gun. Make it today. Make it today.
Do they
that
have any
Br'aad
guns
gets
in
a gun.
stock, Jared?
the general store does not, but there are actually
Well, that's
so
ridiculous.
firearms, as
What
I have
about the
said before,
specific store?
firearms are very not common. They exist, but they're not a common thing people use still yet because they're very dangerous. They are known to have issues with backfiring, with even exploding in people's palms and hands, and they're seen as a very dangerous way of weaponry. But when you ask around, you are told that there is a dwarven city closer to the coast. They have a naval city, and they do give their soldiers there, the ones who stay on the cruise and on the ships there.
It's so unimportant.
They're given.
Br'aad gets a gun is the most unimportant storyline to ever exist.
A pirate city, though.
There's a
That
big
sounds-
naval dwarven
sound
city
like-
off the coast. It'd be to your guys' current east. I mean west. My
Also,
bad,
is
bad,
Br'aad
west.
still looking like a dwarf
Yes.
right now?
Yeah, I
Is
still
he
got the beard. I still have a
I was
3 foot
about to say
long
that
beard.
lasts for like what, an hour, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll have it for an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Anyway, that's all I
but
want to
no,
do.
around
And then
here
I want to
like
take.
nobody uses guns. It's not a very common thing.
Yeah, no.
They are very
Okay.
dangerous.
And then I take live clock. I take live clock to the dog park after that.
Oh god,
Yeah.
Jack and live clock at the dog park.
That'd be great.
Okay, that'll be some great fan art, please. I
That's a
hope.
that's a
That'll be-
0.5 right there.
Yeah.
That's a 0.5 if I've ever seen one. It's like Pikachu's vacation,
Yeah,
man.
that's a
Except
be
with Jack.
beautiful. That would be so
and,
lovely.
Live clock.
Moving on, however, from that.
Okay.
So
Gonna
there's
see
nothing
those.
else anybody wants to do. We can move on completely. Double checking, making sure.
I have
Going
nothing.
once,
I
going
don't think.
twice,
I
going
don't think I have
thrice
money.
even. All right, cool.
Nothing you guys.
So
Okay.
Mountain and Br'aad, you guys head to the inner gardens outside the castle wall. It's sort of actually the castle walls. The way it is there is the checkpoint you exited through, and there's another wall a bit further, and in between those walls is a massive garden that wraps around the inside between those two walls. That is also only accessible by nobility and royalty, and that's where the dog park is. So you walk the sides of these walls and you walk down these beautiful, beautiful gardens. And at some point, you find yourself into this open area with these white vined fences, picket fences that go around. And you see, actually, currently there are 2 people in there with their dogs. One of them looking very, very similar to Jack. Actually, one of them being the same breed.
I pick up a ball and throw it and say, "Go fetch!" And then I pop in Live Clock and he appears in front of the ball in a terrifying mask.
And the second person
gnashes it into shreds.
The first person is a male, and he owns the dog. Looks very similar. He looks actually like a retired, you would guess maybe a soldier. He seems to be quite old, 60s, gray hair, scars, some sort of retired nobleman, possibly a knight or a soldier. And there's a woman wearing a very long, white at the bottom, pompous dress. And she has a very small, white, fluffy dog with her that is also running around playing inside, when they are both disrupted by the sound of Br'aad saying, "Fetch!" as Live Clock appears in midair, drooling and slobbering everywhere as he rips
We're at a dog park,
into
man.
the
It's
ball.
not that weird.
It's weird to everybody else that see a giant floating creature appear out of nowhere. That's not a dog.
Can I roll deception and say, "This is my dog"?
Make a deception check with disadvantage. Please.
I want to go with it. I want to like back him up.
Are you going to?
Yeah, I want to back him up. I want to be like, yeah, this is his dog. This is a different breed.
Thank you for that +1 to charisma earlier, because I got a 25.
25.
It's a dog.
They look over, and well, you see, the deception check here is they know very obviously it is not a dog. They know quite clearly by looking at this is not a dog. You saying that it's a dog, they're not convinced that it's a dog, but they're convinced that you believe it's a dog. And they kind of look at they look at Live Clock and look back at you and go, "Yeah, it's very cute." And they go back to their business. Mountain, you open the fence as well, entering with Jack. And Jack goes off and immediately starts playing with the male dog of the same breed. They both of them are kind of just like they sort of yap and nip at each other's necks while running back and forth, while the little tiny dog sort of just does figure eights, trying to catch up with them, but he never truly can, going around their legs as they run around the park.
Yeah. I want to just silently chant to myself. Kill him.
Live Clock also plays fetch. Eventually, you guys are called back to the castle. I don't know where everybody else would be. I assume probably just hanging around somewhere in the nearby streets. You all are gathered back to the castle, and you enter the throne room. The throne room has a look to it that is very unlike the rest of the castle. When you enter, the first thing you notice is the color difference, where most of the castle is this bright white with this golden adornments, and the vinery as well, with other plants, other greenery that help with that aesthetic. Inside here, the bricks of the ground are almost like a molten rock, this darker black cracked stone that has been polished over, leaving some of the cracks and some of the holes and breaks in the stone, but smoothing it over and paving it into the sort of cobbled stone. You see 2 rivers of lava on the left and right sides of the throne room. These 2 small little streams that just move in a very small, very light flow down the sides. Just these little tiny, almost like creeks that are sanctioned off by ironed gates over the top, so nobody can walk anywhere near them or step to them. But they are what's illuminating this room. The light of the lava, the natural red glow it gives off, bounces off this black stone around and gives the room this very orangish fog-like lighting to it, this sort of orangish glow. On top of that, there are these large black iron chains that start at the ceiling and come down the sides, attaching to the walls, making almost like a pattern going across the left and right walls, creating these very weird-looking zigzag designs. But going straight down the center, you see on the very opposite side of the throne room, there is a man sitting in the throne, a very, very old dwarf. But as you guys look into his eyes, you immediately see Mountain. You can see the same facial shape, that same sort of gruff to the lower jaw that Mountain has, that same disgruntled look and face. This man has it. His eyes, his hair, a much dark gray, a very dark gray. especially compared to some of the other dwarves, some of the other elders you've even seen. Usually it's more of a lighter, but his gray is very dark, almost to the point where it looks close to black. His beard itself is still black, and it falls down about to stomach height with these several golden braids that go through it. His face is littered with scars. You see going down the sides, about cheek to side of the forehead area, there are just scrapes and nicks from sword slashes going down the sides of his face, where he's just been able to dodge out of the way of stabs and slashes. He looks very old, very elderly, even decrepit at this point. He does not look like any sort of strong warrior or any strong fighter at all. He seems frail. So you'd guess he's probably in the last decade, if that, of his life. He sits there on the throne, adorned in actually battle armor, which is not very comparative to his stance or his body posture, but he's wearing this armor made of heavy plate, these large gauntlets and heavy boots that are adorned with that same white and gold collar the rest of the city is adorned with. As you guys enter the throne room, the doors shut behind you, and there is nobody else inside except for the king. It's quiet except for the soft sounds of the bubbling lava as it flows down its two little cricks on the side. The king does not speak. He doesn't say anything. He just sits there silently and looks at the party as they enter.
We sit there.
Does he look alive?
He does. As he sits there, his both of his hands are grasped to the sides of the throne, and his head's actually slightly upturned. His chin sort of pointing out towards the party as he looks down, almost like he's scanning and judging everyone. He's going once over everybody, their posture, their facial expressions, the emotion they're giving off right now. He just seems to be softly studying everyone without speaking.
Are there plants or any kind of decoration?
There are no plants.
Maybe on rails.
In the lava room.
In this room, there are no plants. As the rest of the kingdom is full of greenery, lots of flora used to decorate the buildings. But in here, it's this dark, cracked, molten stone and lava.
Wait. Sorry, I must have missed that we came into the lava room.
Yeah, I gave a full spiel.
There's lava.
There's lava.
You said throne room?
At the throne room,
We're in
yes.
the throne room.
Yes,
this is the throne room.
We're
in a volcano. Okay.
He, after a few moments, the king gets up. He walks off the throne and very slowly steps down. You hear his boots echo off of the stone stairs as he walks down towards the party. His eyes are staring at solely just Mountain and nobody else. His gaze is not avert as he walks forward. He does not look at anybody else. His eyes just are locked with yours, Mountain, as he steps forward.
What's his like demeanor and expression?
His expression,
like what kind of vibe?
He looks just like Mountain's basic, like his Mountain's resting bitch face that he has that everyone knows of. Mountain, that very disgruntled, not wanting to be there look. He holds the same look, but even though he's old, it has almost like a bit more of an anger or grimace to it, like a bit more of an intimidation. You feel a bit more uneasy about his expression.
I'll make my presence known to Mountain that I'm just standing right here. Right behind him.
He walks up to Mountain. He gets close to you and he just stares at you. You guys are almost the exact same height. Then he just softly, with both of his hands, cups your right hand in his. And brings it up for a handshake and just says, "I never thought I'd see you again, son."
I can say the same.
There's a lot to talk about. You've been gone for quite some time.
Indeed.
I'm happy to see you well. I truly am. I thought you were dead, man. When they pulled you away, when they took you, I assumed you would have gone.
Pulled me.
Then I heard the tales of a young man traveling the world, getting into bar fights, getting into arenas, coming out on top, slaughtering anyone who stood toe-to-toe with him. And I was told by my men that he had that same look in his eyes that a king does. And that's how I knew you were still out there.
Well, here I am.
Your mother, she's been gone for a very long time. She was executed. The queen is not your mother. I don't know if you've heard the tales, but there's no way to put it, son, but you were a bastard. You were not the offspring of the king and queen. You were the offspring of something the queen surely didn't want. But I still wanted to raise you. To raise you like me. To raise you like the rest of my own. But she refused. She said we couldn't have any other blood mixed in. We couldn't have any runts. And she forced me to cast you off.
So why now? Why, after all these years,
I've just now found you.
You choose to seek me out?
You
could have found me before. It's a whole kingdom.
We've been looking for you for so long. We thought you were dead. I only sent my scouts looking for your area when I heard of your tales. I heard that you were out there. And then I heard of your adventuring party, and I've heard of the accomplishments you've made. And I knew I had to bring you in. I had to find you.
Well, you found me.
I'm happy. I'm happy to see you. And then at this point, his gaze finally leaves Mountain. He looks at the rest of the party. And I am pleased to meet the rest of you. The Fated, as they call you.
Yay.
It is an honor to meet you heroes.
Hey, what's going on?
I am King Rogrim of Tagindor and of Br'aad. If there is anything you need, please just ask me. For the ones who adventure with my boy, for the ones who keep him alive, I will do anything.
I need some money.
This boy, he's a man, and he's our man.
That he is.
What? You didn't really say what you needed him for. You know, we kind of just did a very long journey.
At this point, he begins walking back towards the throne just to sit back down as he is old. But
As he is old.
he does. He walks over. But he speaks the entire time he's walking over to the throne. He walks over.
Mountain's kind of been like puffing his chest a little bit, just kind of getting a little.
He sits down and goes, "There are a few things I could use help with. Well, what can I say? The castle's been without a prince for quite some time. There's lots of work to be done, but I won't make you do that kind of work, my boy. I know you're no prince. I know you're no noble. You've lived a very much different life. There are opposing forces. There are many evils around the area that I could use your help with. I could use your help with clearing some of the land, some bandits, monsters, things of the sort. And I will obviously pay in full for anything you guys can do for me."
So, that's what you're looking for.
Well, that is not...
A group of adventurers to clear out your
and
enemies.
he raises up his left hand.
No, please. Explain.
I did not search out my own son, my own flesh and blood, just to use him as a mercenary. I'm
Sure as hell seems
I'm simply offering because you seem the mercenary type. This is just side work if you need money, you and your adventuring party. I know adventurers need coin. I'm simply offering my services and the castle's services for coin if you so need it. Other than that, I have a few things I need to talk to you about, Mountain. I would prefer to speak to you privately later about these things.
Yes.
But for you and for the rest of you as the Fated, I want to welcome you to Tagindor, and I please want to say humbly that I accept you as heroes and that my people accept you as heroes. You are seen in this land as very, very good people. And I hope to see what you can do for its people.
Right.
Do a cool bow.
That being said, for your
do-
expense for the trip, and I know the travel was very, very long, and I know Chirp can always be a bore, but
The dick.
I will give you as a traveling party, as the Fated, a collective sum of 650 gold pieces for your troubles.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
I'm joking.
Did you say
Did not say
daddy?
that. Yes, it did not say that though. Not in canon.
It's 130 each.
Is it 130 each?
Sugar.
That's a lot of money.
Give me that sugar.
Yes. And with that, I want to ask something of you. And his eyes look over towards Velrisa. He goes, You are infernal blood, yes?
That is right, yes.
Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but your skin gives it away quite obviously.
You can see Taxi was cut off just about to say
It's
something.
perfectly alright. What is it that you need?
Well, I know for a fact you've heard. I know for a fact, especially the Fated have heard the horror stories of Ungaro, the one to rise. These stories, I mean, they are true. We've been trying to prepare for an onslaught here in the castle for a while. It's not just Ungaro that is trying to bring down this material plane, but there are forces from outside that have been fighting against our walls for millennia now. One of my jobs here as king is not only to keep the people here in check and to watch over this world, but we have men on the other side who keep these beasts in check, ones who keep our border of the material plane in check.
What do you mean by the other side? Like in other planes, in other worlds?
In other planes.
Also, are you saying there's more Ungaros? Because I don't know if
There's
I love
not
the
more
sound of
Ungaros,
that.
but there are presences like his. Evil forces looking to rise an army at the same time. It's calculated. It's a doomsday. What I'm asking of you is a donation of your blood. I know that sounds very bizarre, but infernal blood, we can use the DNA as power, in fact. And we can actually use it for splicing to help with machinery. And we've been collecting different DNA from different races to try to look for anything that is similar to the blood of these outer-worldly beings, perhaps for anything we could maybe infect them with, poisons, toxins. It really is more for research, but it helps.
I'm sorry, Jared. Do you mind if I insight check? Can I read to see if he is?
You're saying a lot of things.
If he is being
You are always
sincere,
able.
or if he looks like he has ulterior motives.
Go for it.
Yeah,
Make an insight check.
I want to insight check if he really needs my blood for that.
You can also easily make an insight check.
Yeah, that is. Okay, that's 20, not natural.
16.
20 not nat and a 16. He seems to be telling the genuine truth. You don't notice anything in his face. You don't notice any signs that show that he's being dishonest, that he's stretching any truths. He seems to be pretty decently honest with you and the rest of the party. But he after saying that, he bows his head and says, once again, you don't have to. I understand that it's a very weird request, but one of the wells we're very low on is infernal blood.
I understand the cause, and we're fighting a similar battle, trying to go against Unguru ourselves. He's someone we want to take down for sure. Would there be anything in return I could get? Maybe information or help with my own problems by helping you?
I can give you any information I can offer. I have many counselors. I have many councilmen and speakers.
Oh,
who
shit.
can give you information on many different policies of the land, different things from here and there. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. If we have that knowledge.
Right.
What is it that you need?
I have some of my own problems. Do you happen to know a man by the name of Akar?
Akkad. I can't say I personally know the name, but I can ask all of my associates.
Right. I have this task I need to do involving...
Well, we can discuss these things later. As I said, you don't have to agree now. We can talk about this over after me and Mountain have our necessary speaking.
Right.
But I certainly can see what I can do, and if not, I can compensate you with gold, if that will also be to your liking.
Right. Well,
But either way, I want to celebrate. That is what I want to do now. That is why I brought you all to the castle. Either way, I'm happy you made it all the way here. And I'm happy to see my son's flesh and blood. I'm happy to see him still alive and still kicking. Now,
Well,
let's drink and let's be merry. My chefs have prepared a feast for you hungry adventurers.
I'm gonna take a pause on the drink, but thank you for your hospitality.
Right, well, let's go.
Why are you being so weird about
And
this?
with that, the doors open and the king leads you to the mess hall where you sit with some of the nobles, everybody who wants to sit in. Everybody, obviously, you can opt out if you wish, but you...
Anytime I start... Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just replying to Charlie. Anytime I start exuding too much confidence, I shrink back up.
But you have your fill of whatever you like. There are courses and courses of food set out, meats and lovely. It's even better than the dining experiences you had in the wharf with the king. Much better selection, much better cooks, much better everything. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. And
Hell
that
yeah. Dude, I'm a sucker for
is where
this.
we're going to end this episode. As our adventurers' bellies are filled after a long,
Everybody
long
wave.
adventure.
Hey, Mountain, tell him of the joke you thought of to get the dragon off our back.
Oh, that was
You saved us from a dragon.
You encountered a
Your son
dragon.
is he's a
Bye-bye.
genius. That's right. And the dragon said, "Make me laugh, and I'll let you go." And what did Mountain say? What did you say, Mountain?
Dragging these nuts.
Dragon these nuts where?
Dragging these nuts across your forehead.
That's me, boy. That's a funny one.
All right.
He got his father's funny bone too. And with that,
Oh no. Thanks for watching.
as
Have a good one.
as the meal wraps up, before before the king's meeting with Mountain, we will end the episode.
Let's give a shout out to the following Patreons. Starting off with Divinator, Wholesome, Bitchy Boy, Kitsune, Riker Kiratu, Mountains Thunder Thighs, The Big Motherfucking Cheese, Salutian, Br'aad, Hyper Retron, Jack Armor, Tinkerbell, Purple.pdf, J Newell, Zelnerd, Kira M, Storm, Get Some Sleep, Condi, Cadis, One Sock Thief, Pun Boy and Pen Girl, Slatica Gaming, Vatic, Jessifer, Bella, Heck Iron Bucket, all my homies hate Iron Bucket, Colton Bradburn, Chris Buck, Curious Cosplayer, Oathkeeper, Asteria Nix, an enemy stand user, Bugsy Burners, Vroom, Squeegee Man, Hard Corgi, Mr. Woods, Ben Teabag, Giant Bee Ape, Kuel, Pariah Purple, Nuggets, Anastasia Purple, Yeshua Bonadio, Darnell the Cat, Mania Joe, Master Methius, Hayus, Herp, Rocky, Eurasian Battleship Tanager, Angel Fluff, Kayak, Ginger Nopples, Korik, Thievy McSneakyson, Larik Arabate, Lottie, Shardang, It's Drifty, Demo Sath, Charlie Vengalore, Caddy Bean, Red Ice, Murthy Alders, Tate Roten, Kayla, Huck Brace, Jew Boy, Bearded Baguette, Pie Inc., Critical Miss, Silvo, Melianito, George Dolby, Lyric Normal, Tiny Mr. Man, Broad Believer 123, Kodoke, Zigzag Sugar, Godspeed Iron Bucket, Little Miss Monarch, Sneaky Cactus, Rags, David F., Desert Pen 15, Quiver, Wilbur Dunham, Josh Patakek, Tiny Peepee Little Wee Wee, Imperative, Posius, and finally Logan Busby.